How about now? Yes.
Ah, now I see sound. Maybe we have sound now.
All right, we got to start again. We missed a whole minute.
I missed the whole beginning.
Now we got to do the whole thing again.
Oh, 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 oh.
What are you
We
doing?
have sound
They're going to get an echo.
now. Not anymore, they're not. Okay.
It's Tuesday, and
And
it's 1968 again.
so, and what I had said with
We're in
no
the Wayback
sound,
Machine.
what I had said with no sound is all pictures are welcome. But pictures of 68s are kind of, we're going to show those too. So,
I
anyway.
like time traveling and doing a whole year for the whole night. But, obviously, yes, we want to see your projects. This is community time. So we will be conversing with the people who are on our big screen, the live chat, all night long. So if you're able to view the chat if you're rewatching and you're able to view the chat, it's going to be more fun. Because you'll be able to see. But I'm reminding you and myself that we will read the names when we read comments in the chat, so you can kind of follow along.
I always
If you
forget to
don't
do
have
that.
I know. That's why I remind us.
She reminds me.
And we are in our live studio with our magic green screen. Look, it almost looks like we're really there in high resolution. Can you guys see the grain of this photo paper?
It's a pretty neat picture, but it's kind of grainy looking.
Oh, look, there's our magic green.
Turbo Tom says his little sister's a 68. Look, I'm showing what I'm drinking, and it's green, and you can see right through it. Look at that. When I put it in front of Kim, you can see through Kim.
I'm invisible. That's because I'm a little bit of a figment of your imagination, but it's okay. It's like when you have a dream, and it's not really it's not one of those dreams that you're like screaming to wake up from. Like, it's just chill vibes. Okay, so I like to give out points, and other people seem to like the points. So we're gonna do the points. I give out the points. I award points to people for doing things that I like during the stream. If you answer a question or offer us a reminder, or if I ask somebody to do a Google search, I will award you points for your responses and various other things, but I don't keep track of the points. Do I look like a database? I'm not a database.
You're a pretty good database a lot of times.
Sometimes, but what it comes down to is it's an on your honor point system. You keep track of your points. I don't keep track of your points. You do. So if I award you some points, just keep a tally. It's easy if everybody does their own. And one of the things that I like that is good for all of us is when people are able to show up at the beginning of the stream. Not that we are that upset if people can't come right away or if people have to come and go. That's how it works. We all have lives. But some people are here like all bang on the nose, and I award them points. And tonight, Lester LeSabre made the first comment at 7 p.m. Because we could see the time badges. Followed by Buddy Carafano, Turbo Tom, Mexican Spec, KJ Kylie. A lot of people were here right on the nose at 7. I'm going to give all those people 2 points. But in addition, that's not all. Buddy made the very first comment today at 10 a.m.
That's early.
And he was also here right at 7. So I'm going to give him an additional 2 points. Because that's just like, wow, dedication, right? And yeah. Okay. Yes. I don't want to linger on the points awards too long. But a lot of people, if you are here at the beginning of stream, even if you haven't made a comment yet, but you're here and you're viewing this now, you get a point. So everyone here has a point or more.
I love this. 38 says the same thing every week. Crap, it's Tuesday already.
The time flies.
A whole 7 days went by, man.
Well, you
That's
know
what
what?
I say too. A
You
whole 7 days went by.
you think it's fast for you. We're in the time machine. We go right from one of these to the next. We get no break. Like as soon as this is over, we hop in the time machine, we go to the next year, and it's Tuesday again. There's no days in between.
What
That's
is
why it
that?
seems like we don't get much done. That's me clicking
Oh,
my mouse on stuff. Don't get
okay.
distracted. Hey
Something
Ray,
something popping up on the screen. I didn't know what it
38
was.
Racing is Ray. Jim's Fastback Garage said, "What's up, y'all? Welcome to the stream." One-Eyed Cat is here. Says I'm up to 2. I think you're up to 3 at least now. Johnny C is here. In 68, I'm in kindergarten. In 68, I ain't even born.
In 68, I was in 8th grade. It's always the same number, like 68, 8th grade, 69, 9th grade, 61, 1st grade. It's always easy for me to remember.
Oh, Crashes Roadrunner's Garage is here. And Turbo Tom is here, but I swear I said hello to Turbo Tom already. If I didn't. And people are sending greetings all around. Mexican Spec wants to know. Uh-oh, he's checking me out. What time was my comment before Lester LeSabre? Let's see. Before Lester LeSabre,
They were all right at 7 p.m.
well, there was one at
Oh,
6:59.
he did 6:59. Okay, he did 6:59. He said, "Let's go," and 7 p.m. And when he said, "Let's go," I'm telling Kim, we got one more minute to go, and we were just ready. It's like, okay, let's take a deep breath and yeah, let's go. Then we came on without any sound. Whoops.
Yeah, we're on the ball, obviously. Key 97 bought a replacement distributor from Amazon for a 73 Charger. It was total garbage. Made my car misfire like crazy. That can happen. Yeah. And KG Kylie is asking what brand. And that premium brand is just kind of a generic branded part. So yeah, you're not the first person to have trouble with that brand. The budget HEI systems are marginal. They're not the best. And you also probably need to feed it direct 12-volt power. And you probably have to change the coil. But that does not promise that that's right. Like, since it was from China, well, a lot of things are from China, and the quality can vary widely, but there's a lot of people who have problems with the budget distributors because the quality can be really, really low. But generally, if you update the wiring to eliminate the ballast resistor,
We may need
and
to
run the correct ignition coil, because you need full 12 volts to the HEI.
Oh, it's an HEI?
That's what he said.
Oh, okay, I missed that.
But then you need to run ballast resisted power to the coil, or change the coil out for an internally resisted coil. So there's change. Oh wait, no. HEI, the coil is right on top of the distributor cap. So you have to make sure you're running 12 full volts to an HEI distributor. So that can make it, not that it would fix it, because it might not, but it might. Did you do that? Did you run? Right now I'm putting back my original Mopar distributor. I mean, factory Mopar distributor can be a good thing from 73 if it's working properly, if it's clean and everything's moving properly. They can work pretty well.
I see somebody here that deserves some points.
Oh, who gets points?
Well, Turbo Tom's been all this time smoke-free.
Congratulations, Turbo Tom.
Well, they're giving something. That's That's probably the most difficult thing anybody here is doing,
I mean, in a way, it absolutely is incredibly difficult to make a big change like that for the better of your own health and the people around you. And I have a lot of respect it's very difficult. I smoked when I was young, and it wasn't easy to quit. So, how would he say how long he's been smoke free for?
Oh God, I don't know. It's
Congratulations,
been
first of all, Turbo Tom.
probably been close to 2 months.
What do you want
I've
to
been
get?
smoke free for 58 years. Mexican spec. Are
Oh,
you even 58 years old?
but it's not the being smoke free. It's the quitting and the sticking with it, and telling us about it. So, Mexican spec, I'll award you 2 points for being smoke free for 58 years. That's pretty good. But Turbo Tom, you get 5 points because I just think that that's a heck of a thing to do. You know, is
Mexican spec says he's 58. You're a youngster. See, I'm 59.
no, you're not.
Do I look 59?
No,
Do I
you look
look
like an
do I look
old
70?
man.
Do I look 70? I'm not 70 either.
I know.
Man, I'm
Oh,
past.
he
Yes,
also
sir.
found out that his idle mixture screws kept moving.
Really? That's unusual. They move?
They're supposed to have springs. Do they have springs? Because if they don't have the springs, you need the springs. And if they do have the springs and they're moving, then you might need to stretch the spring out a little bit. Because the spring isn't supposed to be like super springy. It's just supposed to be enough tension that it won't spin.
Yeah, and 38 saying the same thing.
Lester the Saber says coffee is what I can't quit.
You know what I can't quit? Fizzy drinks. Tonight this is like a store brand, a 7-Up, whatever, it's some kind of clear stuff. But man, I'm trying to go caffeine free drinks, and I'm kind of having a tough time with that. I like the Diet Coke's my favorite one, but for the last couple of years I've been buying the store brand because you get a 2 liter for $1. So I buy the dollar stuff. But it's hard to quit the caffeine drinks. Man.
Gearhead liked your short video about wiring speakers correctly. Said it was informative.
Oh, where's that?
Thank you.
I missed that.
Up near the top.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Oh, that
Mexican spec.
that
Are you
got a
giving me a
lot.
hard time about my points? Says the actual cash value is 0.00000001 US penny. That's what they said about Bitcoin, and look at it now. Mexican spec. Just you wait.
Oh yeah, your points could just like go like crazy. It'd be worth a lot, or they could tank.
Do cigars count? I count as what? They're cigars. They're tobacco. If you don't inhale, then it's just like sitting in a smoky room. I don't know. Does chew count?
Neither did Clinton. Mm.
Neither. Oh man.
We're not going to go into that.
Now we're getting.
That report.
I don't see any springs, only screws. I have one on the. Okay, there's supposed to be springs. That the screws are supposed to have springs. The screw goes right through the spring, and the spring holds tension on it.
It puts pressure on there, so it
Yeah.
can't turn unless you turn it.
So somebody did a rebuild and left the screws off. So that's
Or left the springs off.
That's exactly it. Someone did a rebuild and left the springs off of the screws. So you need to see if you can find another carburetor, rob the springs off of, or I don't know. Can you get? Does anybody know? Can you get replacement screws for carburetors? You're right, Kim. I will collect the points. I mean, you never know. You never know. Maybe I'll pan. Maybe one day, on the side, we'll pan for gold and we'll award the proceeds to some points holders. And now it'll be worth something real and tangible. Plus, there's no tax on points. That's like tax free. That's big. Mountain Dew is incredibly hard to go. Yeah, I've got to get my coffee.
Somebody new there. Team Allen.
Rob's Rods and Streetcars says, howdy, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Team Allen
That's
is here.
new person. Good evening.
Welcome.
Welcome to the
We're just getting
stream.
started. We're like doing the warm-up tonight.
38 says something about Monica. I wanted to mention Monica is the name of a car. There's actually a car called a Monica.
I'm getting my coffee.
I think it was a European car. Yeah, Kim's got to go get her coffee.
Before I was ready.
Yeah, she wanted to go get her coffee. I said, Mexican Spec was already saying, let's go. And I said, yeah, it's that time. You don't have time to get your coffee. And she went, her. And on she came. She put it on. Code Red Mountain Dew is the best. See, you know what's wrong with Code Red Mountain Dew? They don't make a diet version of it. And I can't have that sugar, you know. I just, I really like Diet Mountain Dew. And, but that stuff's expensive. That's why I buy in the store brand. Because I get 2-liter bottles for $1. That's a pretty good deal.
Buddy, name brand Diet A&W root beer when they have.
Oh, they had what? I don't know, 6-packs or 12-packs or something of plastic bottles, A&W Diet root beer, and she bought that for me, and it was so good. You know, and it wasn't a store brand. That's probably why I thought it was so good.
Yeah, because it had good flavor.
Crash Roadrunner Garage says, I'm down to 1 mellow yellow a day. Hey, that's what I named the, Kim bought a pickup, and the pickup bed, what was that thing? It's a Ford Ranger. The entire pickup bed was full of mellow yellow cans. I'm not kidding. There must have been 3,000 or 4,000 cans in there with a little bit of mellow yellow left in them, so they were all full of bees. So we had a pickup bed full of mellow yellow cans and bees. But I decided that there was one can that I grabbed out of there and cleaned it out, and I decided that was the name for the Valiant, because the Valiant's yellow, so that car's mellow yellow. I think it's a pretty good name for a car. I don't have a name for this car yet. It was, the last guy called it Chewy. I don't know if I really like that name. I don't know.
Maybe it'll grow on you.
Maybe it'll grow on me. I don't know.
This is too big today.
Oh.
I don't know why, but it's just, you got it like right out there.
Oh, you're stepping on my mouse
Scooch
pad.
over. You're taking up too much space.
What is this gear here? A seizure? I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, 38 Racing City had a seizure from Mountain Dew. That's wild. That's really bad, Ray.
Oh my God.
I agree. Don't have any
Maybe
more.
it wasn't a Mountain Dew. Oh,
I don't know,
man.
but I would very much shy away. If that happened to me, I would be done with the Mountain Dew. All right, so what interesting has happened this week? Have we done? We haven't done.
Oh,
much
you know what?
with our
Yeah, no,
speakers.
we were up there in the shop. Didn't we do one? We did one live since in the shop since
Did
we
we?
were here. I think so.
I don't think we did.
I don't know. I can figure it out. So anyway, it's been so cold. We just haven't been going up there.
Well, and you've been working.
Let me see. Oh yeah, and I've been working.
Yeah.
But I think that's about. Of course, last week I said that's about to come to an end. Well, now I think it is coming to an
Ray
end.
is very. I see. I figured we'd mention this at some point. I was at the doctor's.
Oh yeah, there she is with her. Oh, you got one more Band-Aid than I did.
I got stabbed multiple times.
What is this thing?
So
There's one.
I
Oh
did-
no, that's a tattoo.
I need to get
It's not
I
a
had to get
Band-Aid.
blood drawn, and I was, it's like the last thing they do before they send you away, and so I was out making my next appointment with the woman at the counter, and the lady who took blood was like, "Hey, I need to see you again." She's like popped out the door. I'm like, "Uh-oh." So yeah, then she stabbed me in the other arm. She needed 2 tubes of blood, and she only took 1 by mistake. So I had to get.
Okay, Kim.
Oh,
We did.
stabbed me. in the arm.
Our last live here was on the 11th,
Yeah.
and then on the 13th we did a live at the shop. So we did one live at the shop this week. And normally we do 2 or 3.
It was Valentine's Day. I had a dance, a Valentine's Day dance.
Oh yeah, because what did we do? We went on the 13th, but then we went really late. something I
Oh,
don't
we
remember.
started late. Were we maybe
Yeah,
practicing
because I
with?
put on there the name of it was Late Night Live in the Garage. Yeah, it was a real late night. So we went from the started on the 13th and went into the 14th, at least our time. Okay, so now that we established that,
Rob's Rods and Streetcars had a kidney stone and stopped drinking dew. Yeah, that would put an end to it too.
I've had so many kidney stones, and I was told it was the um, diet drinks, but I kept on drinking diet drinks, and I quit getting kidney stones like for almost 10 years. Then I had another one, so I don't know. Um, so cold out today up here. Boss called off work. Yeah, it's for Tennessee. It's cold here. I think it got up to freezing today. It got up to maybe 32, maybe 32 degrees. Anybody drink Sundrop? What's Sundrop? I'm sure I've had it. Uh,
I don't know, but I've seen it like on the shelf next to Mountain Dew. So it must be like this, or not, next to the Mellow Yellow. So it must be the same sort of brand. Lester LeSabre says blood won't come out of my arm. They use my hand. It's just because you're too tough.
oh man, does it hurt more to have it pulled out of your hand? Because that they almost did that with me. Friday, I needed to have blood work. They couldn't get any blood out of anywhere, but I didn't have them do part of my hand. And I was working and then in a hurry, and I got up there and had the doctor's appointment, and they're pulling the blood out, and it doesn't come out. She goes, "Did you drink any water today?" And I said, this is like mid-afternoon. I said, no. She goes,
Just soda.
drink a lot of water. No, I didn't have anything. I just was in a hurry all day, and I didn't eat or drink or anything. I just in a hurry. So, so she says, come back Monday and drink plenty of water. So I did that. And then this side, she couldn't get anything. And she goes, well, let's do it in your hand. And I'm like, good, doesn't that hurt? And she goes, I said, let's try the other one. So she tried this arm, got it, you know. So I said, okay, good. So I don't know. Okay, I'm sorry, I've taken over and there's all kinds of stuff.
Um,
Oh, ads. We're already got ads.
okay. Kidney stones are not fun. No, no. A good kidney stone will get you thinking about your life choices. Absolutely. That will, like, what did I eat? What did I? And I mean, it honestly may have absolutely be completely unrelated, but too much sugar is probably better to stay away from anyway. So soda, on the rare occasion in small amounts, is probably advisable. So, yep. Hippie Long is here. Welcome to the stream, Hippie Long. Mexican Spec says they took blood from him once and tilted the needle vertical, and that hurt. Yeah, yeah. If they do it wrong, you get like a big black and blue mark. My grandmother, she used to get these horrible, horrible, like her whole arm would be black and blue after they drew blood if they did it wrong.
Gearhead.
What does Gearhead?
Oh, here we go. 38 Racing. Harbor Freight. Ad. Gearhead. Konami. MLB Pro. I don't know what that is.
Oh, Major League Baseball Pro ad. Konami is a video game.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
That's
what that
cool.
was.
An ad for video games? Okay. Yeah.
So what? They each get a point?
No, they get 2 points for
2
telling us
points.
about our advertisers. Has anybody ever played MLB Pro by Konami? They're advertising it. They must have a brand new edition out. That's cool. I have not played Major League Baseball on a game console in a very long time. It used to be that, like there was the screen was just like the triangle, and like your guy had like this little bat that went like this, and the ball was like a square. It was like I'll bet you it's a lot different than that.
Do you know what's wrong with Harbor Freight? There's one thing wrong with Harbor Freight. Clarksville here is 160,000 people. It was a Harbor
Because we
Freight,
need
and
one.
they closed it, and they were going to move it. And They didn't move
You
it.
didn't buy enough stuff.
We were there all the time. It was pretty close to us. You just go into town. It's right where we go into town. It's not on the other side of town. It's on the side we're on. So they never opened the other one. That's like almost 2 years ago. It's like, come on, Harbor Freight,
You know what I always
open up
see
a store here. You know.
on Harbor Freight? I'm a member of some groups for those little mini bikes because I did a mini bike racing the first year at No Name Nationals, and they have like Black Friday sales and stuff like that, and they always sell those 212 Predator engines and the Ghost engines, and when they go on sale, everybody goes crazy. Everybody buying their little mini bike engines from Harbor Freight, and the Predator engines are really good. And like having taken them all apart, I've taken, side by side. The Predator engines are made much better to much higher standards than the generic Coleman engine. The Coleman engines are really cheaply made. The machining in the Predator engines is seems to be superior.
It's
So
better.
yeah.
They're
If you're
probably
looking
both
for a
Chinese.
small engine, for some type of performance thing, starting with a Predator is a good idea probably. Although I think if you really want to race it, you have to change the flywheel and you have to change the rod and I don't know, the piston, the valve springs, the cam.
Man, I'm trying to
At
make
that point, there's nothing but the case, so I don't know.
my hat straight, and it's not like looking in a mirror. It's backwards from a mirror, so it's like really tricking me.
Johnny
Okay,
Stee got an eBay
eBay.
ad.
Yep.
eBay's a good place for finding new old stock parts for your car. Thank you, Johnny C. You get 2 points for that. Crits 103 Customs got an AutoZone ad just now. And you get 2 points for calling out. AutoZone is a good place. The people at the AutoZone here in Clarksville are really nice. They're very helpful. Friendly place. What were we trying to find there? Paint. Touch-up paint. We got some touch-up paint. I got some header bolts. It's a good place. Very convenient. If you need brick and mortar store, check out your local AutoZone. Get in the zone. AutoZone. Oh, Hippie Long played baseball on Sega in the early 90s. 38 Racing hasn't played video games since Pong.
Bong.
I remember Nintendo, the bat was like this big, like, bat thing. Mario Baseball. I'm sure it's so much better.
Read what Mike N says.
A 69 Camaro tried to catch fire on me last week. Mike, that's terrible. I'm so sorry. Driving normally with headlights on, and I smelled wires burning. The voltmeter was up around 18 volts. I pulled over and shut it off. Turned off lights, and it went back to normal 14 volts. Smell went away. I played with lights and couldn't reproduce the problem. Ooh. That sounds like a stuck voltage regulator, though. Is your Camaro have a aftermarket regulator, or is it like a point style? That sounds like a stuck point style regulator, but I can't imagine that a digital regulator would do that. Or is it internally regulated? Ugh.
It went back to normal 14 volts. Smell went away. I played with the lights and couldn't reproduce the problem. Oh, isn't that fun? I took off from a small airport in a Cessna 152, a little two-seat airplane one time. And as we're climbing out, it was kind of busy little airport without a control tower. And it was a place in California that has a restaurant right there. I mean, that's the whole attraction of that airport is you go to that restaurant. So as we're climbing out, I start smelling wires burning. It's like, uh-oh. So I just make a radio call, and I'm going to turn around and come back and land. But in the meantime, the procedure is you shut off the master switch because the engine runs on a what do you call it? Magneto. So if you shut off the master switch, it just shuts off everything electrical, but the engine keeps running. So I shut that off, and the smell went away. So then what you do is you turn everything off, all the switches off, turn the master back on, and then one at a time come back on. But because I was taken off at that airport that was really busy, I had the landing light on. And so I suspected maybe it was a landing light. So I just started turning everything back on, everything but the landing light, and the smell didn't come back. So we continued on our trip and went home. But when I got out at my home airport, I got up underneath the instrument panel, and there's all this plastic goo hanging down from the landing light switch. And it's, yeah, something in there melted. So, 3 different times I had electrical issues like that in airplanes. And it's always the same thing. Shut off the master. Okay, go ahead.
We always talk about it, so I'm going to throw it out there. Mike, check all your grounds. Make sure your body to engine ground
Oh, yes.
is
grounds.
good, because your headlights are going to ground to the body of the car. So make sure check your grounds, because a footsie ground will be intermittent. It'll depend on the humidity and that kind of thing. So check your grounds. And I would say check your wiring harnesses and clean them. Like on your pull the plug off your voltage regulator, make sure nothing's all green and crusty. I know on Mopars, I don't know about on your car, but I know on Mopars that the voltage regulator grounds through the hardware to the body of the car. So, when it gets old and corrosion builds up on the mounting hardware, it won't ground properly. And sometimes I'll run a dedicated ground from the voltage regulator to the battery. But it usually doesn't hurt to remove it, clean everything, clean the hardware, and then put it back in. As same with, take the connector off, spray it out with maybe some contact cleaner, take a visual look in there, and make sure it is not all green and crusty, and, put it back together. Wiggle everything a little bit, and see if you can rustle up the culprit. The thing with the headlights, though, that fussing with the headlights fixes it. You should probably check the connector that goes to the headlights under the dash, because it could be something with the wiring under the dash is getting high resistance will cause like a huge draw. If there's super high resistance on a ground or a connection, it'll cause bad things to happen. So
Hippie Long, Harris Ranch Airport. You nailed it. That's exactly where I was.
oh,
That's a good restaurant, by the way. If you're in Central California somewhere, I don't know, I suppose it's still there, Harris Ranch. Good restaurant.
some people had comments about who was expensive as far as auto parts stores. Like, shop around. The great thing about the internet is I have choices. So if you don't like the price, sometimes I'm willing to wait. But sometimes a brick and mortar store will have what I want right now, and I'm willing to pay an extra $10 to have it today. So, and it costs money to have things in the store. So, I don't begrudge them making their money. They have to make it somewhere. So, anyways, I don't know. Yeah, some places are more expensive, but if they have it right now on hand, there's value there. So,
Lester LeSabre says Buff likes the green store, Kim likes the orange store.
I guess that's O'Reilly's versus CarQuest.
Well, I kind of like CarQuest because of all the body stuff they have in there. They have all and Kim likes the green store. So I think it's backwards.
I like the store that's funding our stream tonight tonight.
Oh.
But it really is. I mean, it really is shop around.
The reason she likes the green store is there's an older guy in there that actually knows car parts.
Yeah, he knows his stuff. And he's very helpful.
And it's hard to find that today. So she does go there, but they don't always have the stuff. Fire on a plane, I will take the snakes. Yeah, I don't like. That's something that's, if you actually have a fire, that's reportable. You have to report that to the FAA. It's required. But I call a sticky, gooey, wiry thing, I just turn it off. As long as it doesn't catch on fire, I don't report it. But I report it to somebody that'll fix it, or I fix it. $38, we're losing our CarQuest. They're a subsidiary of Advance. Fortunately, they're rebranding, so I won't lose the people. Good.
Yeah, there's a lot of corporate stuff that's shifting around. I see a lot in the news about people losing jobs, stores closing down in all kinds of different areas. The economy's always changing, guys. Try and be agile. Keep your eyes open.
I noticed these.
Hopefully, you have good service in your area.
What do they call it? The avatars over here. Mexican Spec changed his that bright green truck, so he sent me pictures of it. It's a '68,
Oh, well,
so
let
I
me
put it
change
up.
us so that we're not so big now.
So I put it up there. I've got a couple more pictures of it.
Oh, that's
I
a
like. Oh, that's
beautiful travel all,
what
right?
a
Is
what
that
a.
travel all?
Mm, no, Travelog's an international, so it's what do
Oh,
they call that thing? A suburban.
yeah.
Look at that. They even did it to
The engine.
the engine,
Pretty.
and
Cleans up well.
there's another picture of it. This might be the one no.
Oh, it's a Chevy panel.
Inline six, 4-speed.
It has
It
a
has
wood floor in the back.
Oh, I have that picture up here, I think.
And it's very affordable for a classic, he says.
Yeah, look at that. There you go.
Well, thank you, Mexican Spec. I'm guessing he highlighted this because it's a '68, or is this just something
Because it's
new?
a '68,
Okay.
not a suburban. It's
And
a
if he
panel
says
truck.
it's very
Oh,
affordable, then it sounds like it's for sale.
look at that. It's a panel truck. Somebody put those like camper style windows in it.
I see. So I think most of the people here already know, but Mexican Spec, our moderator tonight, he facilitates the import of Mexican Spec vehicles into the United States or other places. Wherever you are, you could check with him and see if he's able to do it, because older vehicles are allowed to be imported. So he's got a couple of vehicles from '68, and they're very interesting. And if you are interested, they are for sale, and you could get in contact with him on Instagram or YouTube. Check out Mexican Spec. And if you just like looking at pictures of unusual classic cars that are well presented and restored, or maybe survivors, check out his channel because he's always posting stuff.
I didn't know what Olive was talking about.
What?
So I got used to the purple O, and I'm going, "What's a purple O?" And then I look over and the purple O. It's avatars, yes.
Oh, right. Oh, there it is, purple O. Oh, hey, Dougster is here.
Have no
Potato.
clue.
Welcome to the stream, Dougster. Olive is here. Did I say hello to you, Olive?
No, I just read
And
what I
Patrick
didn't say. Well,
Sullivan's here. I've been talking and I'm missing people coming in. I'm supposed to greet everyone so we all feel welcome.
I'm showing.
Oh, look at that's so classic.
It's a '68. See, Mexican Spec sent me a bunch of pictures of '68 stuff that he has listed, which is pretty cool. And he sent a lot of them, so I haven't gotten to them yet. But yeah, here's what I like, because it's a view that I saw a lot of when I used to drive these things around. Except I never saw one with the metric speedometer, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Metric.
Yeah, it's in kilometers instead of miles per hour, so it goes to 140.
When did was Mexico always on the metric system? Or did what year did they invent the metric system?
Don't start this.
Okay, sorry. We don't have
when I was a little kid taking Spanish, probably in elementary school, the instructor had been to Mexico. Well, he's a Mexican guy. So he used to go to Mexico quite a bit. He'd been down there and came back. And me being a car fanatic, even grade school, I said to him, "What are the speed limits there?" He goes, "Well, they're 80. I'm like, "Wow." And he goes, "No, but it's kilometers, which is 50 miles an hour." I said, "Oh, okay." But that was in about 1964 or 5 or so. So even then, it was kilometers then. My guess is maybe they were never on miles. And then talking about that, This, this
Wait,
is
let me
all
get you big.
this is all very, very reflective. But that's really funny looking. And
It's really
you
bright in
can't
here.
see the color of the needles. We redid those needles. Well, I redid them. Kim gave me. I tried many different things, not on the needles, but on other sample pieces. But what we came up with was she had some really bright fluorescent orange uh, dye, some powder, and I mixed it with some clear fingernail polish, and it worked really well and hardened up real nice. So those needles look really, and they don't look good on the screen. They look good here. They're really nice. Lots of optimism on that Speedo, even 160K.
Oh man,
Well, it's 140.
it'd be scary going that fast in that car. Can you imagine? I can
Well, see,
imagine
but
that Speedo bouncing like this. Did you ever have
but
a car that the faster you went, the more the speedometer bounced?
but old mechanical speedometers, they're gonna be real good about in the middle, and then in the middle you can see the needle pointing up, and 80 is 50 miles an hour, so that's probably just about right. Yes, I got the fuel gauge working, 38. Uh, that stud was spinning around, but what I did, it's a little sheet metal nut. I just took some little tiny needle nose and I tweaked that thing a little bit, that nut, and then it spun on really nice. So the nut wasn't quite, it was just tweaked a little bit. And as soon as I did that, it just spun on and tightened like a normal nut. The stud didn't turn anymore, and everything's good. So yeah, it's good to go. And that would be, where is it? It's these two studs right here. Here you can't see it because I got those two studs right there, and they just spun right on and tightened up. So it just had to get it right.
Dougster says where he lives, he knows where there's multiple Bluetooth optioned floored vehicles from I guess from cars from the 60s. They rust from the VIN tags down. And rust never sleeps. Yeah, Dougster, I'm telling you, I grew up in the Rust Belt, and I know the pain. I remember seeing cars that were just rotted, from halfway up the fender. Like literally, they were sitting. I thought they were sunk in the dirt, but like you scrape a little bit, and no, they're just sitting there. That's all that's left. And yeah, or just like the rusted off of the frame completely. You just push it and it slides off the frame. I've seen it. I've seen that stuff.
And Tavo's here.
Man. Oh,
Yeah.
and I was working on my van. Well, I popped a brake line. It was
Brake pedal goes to the floor.
It just popped. I was like, oh
Well,
man.
You were lucky. It happened in the yard.
In the driveway.
You were stuck in the mud, so you didn't need to stop. You were trying to go.
I was rocking it.
and
trying to get it out of the mud. I hit the brakes and it went. And I was like, what? Double jeopardy. You cannot get stuck in the mud and pop a brake line in the same day. But I can do that.
So,
I have had so many tetanus shots. Oh my goodness. So many tetanus shots in my life. Man.
Can you make it small again so you can see this picture?
Olive says the French Revolution was when they started that metric thing, and Mexican Spec says he's seen cars back to the 40s in metric. So is that the right size?
I think so. I'm just putting up
That's
pictures.
That's a beautiful picture.
Picture that people
Final clearance from 68.
Yeah, look at that.
Final clearance.
Yeah, the 69.
Get them now, guys.
69.
They're going fast.
Yeah, did you see Tavo came in? I don't know if you heard that.
Welcome to the stream, Tavo.
Because I said it a couple of times and you were talking about your van. I'm sorry I interrupted.
Talking about my van. That's all I ever do is talk about my van.
Today, do I tell them what happened today? We got it unstuck.
We did. And we got it on film. So I've got 2 videos from my channel coming out. Did you guys see the video that came out on his channel? I think probably...
Oh, Mexican Spec says that's not a 68 model. No, the ones in the showroom are the 68 model.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a 67, I think. It's either 66 or 7. I'm not sure. I'm looking at the nose and to see if it has 4 headlights or 2 headlights and two 2 headlights and 2 turn signals is a 66, and 4 headlights is a 67.
Dougster retracted his message. It was something about wanting a wrecker. Darn it.
So let's see. So yeah, Tavo, I watched your video of you putting the top on. Man, does that look better? I mean,
Yeah, well done. Have any of you watched Tavo's newer videos about replacing the roof on his Chrysler? Do they call them Chryslers there?
it's
Anyways, if you
Valiant.
haven't checked out Tavo on YouTube, you should do that. Check out his channel. Check out his project. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. It's hard work. I don't know if I would have the dedication to drill out all those welds. I think I would have just got lazy and resorted to a thick skim of Bondo on it.
Well, you know, he tried to fix. Somebody had put a sunroof in it or something, a big hole, and he was really struggling with that thing. And you know, he finally bit the bullet and put a top on it. It looks really good. You know, it was yeah, it was probably hard to decide to do that, but it was the right thing to do. I think.
30 Racing says he's got a metric speedo for his 59 that goes to 200. That's pretty cool.
You know, I remember a 56 Ford I saw one time had a 200 mile an hour speedometer, and years later, I thought, I bet that was a 200 kilometer speedometer for a 56 Ford, and I only saw one ever. Max Wood, Dick Dastardly's here. Good evening.
Welcome to the stream. Olive says most gauges of all kinds are made to be accurate in the middle. And her Volvo's speedo therefore goes very unrealistically high, like really high.
Just like most cars.
And I expect yeah.
Oh, I missed that we were having ads. Planet Fitness ad. We talked through the ad. Sorry about that.
Oh, you didn't miss much. I was reading back comments. Buddy Carfano got a Planet Fitness ad. Great place to get a shower and do your workout if you have a local Planet Fitness, or if you travel a lot and you like to get a workout on the road. Planet Fitness is like nationwide, if I understand properly. So check out a Planet Fitness. You get 2 points for calling out our advertiser tonight. Thank you, buddy. Tavo says, it's still as it was the end of that clip. Won't be any more done for a few weeks. Oh, I'm sorry, Tavo. Sounds like he got busy with other things. Dr. Go says, just had the Farmer's Dog pet food commercial. I've never heard of the Farmer's Dog pet food, so the commercial worked, because now we have been informed. More than one person has been informed that there is a pet food called the Farmer's Dog. And thank you to the Farmer's Dog Pet Food for sponsoring our stream. How you doing? Good evening, Dr. Go. Glad to see you here.
What's Envato? Team Allen.
What?
Team Allen. Envato ad. Oh, it's a video game.
No.
Oh, and a video game ad. It's 2 things. I don't know what Envato is. Where are you?
Team Allen, you get 2 points for calling out your advertisers.
Well, and so does Dr.
Thank
Go.
you to Envato and to the video game ad. I'm giving you the points because you said Envato, but you're supposed to know who the video game advertiser is as well. That gets you paying attention. But you get the points this time because you knew one of them. But try and remember both next time because it's more fun to talk about what I know. Web design. Oh, Envato is a web design. Oh.
Team Allen, I just haven't seen you before. I was just wondering where you are. Where are you in this world? We have people all over. We got Tavo in
all over
Australia.
the world.
Australia. We got people from New Zealand, Ireland, India, Turkey, Ukraine, um, Canada, Mexico, U.S. I don't know. I probably left somebody out.
Jim's Fastback Garage says, I haven't seen one ad yet. Well, they must know that you cannot be bought. You know?
Tyler says I pegged the 70 Valiant at the 120 mile an hour top of the speedo, the 245 Hemi 6. Wow. Yeah, how are your hands, Tavo?
It's been a couple weeks. They ought to be starting to get better by now.
That was a rough night. We were sitting here and
You were worried about
he
him.
was driving to the hospital, and then
I knew he was
he's in the hospital chatting with us on his phone. They made him stop so they could stitch up his hand. That's dedication. He's watching us while he's in there in the hospital.
We're a good distraction from things like pain. Max Wedge says his dad had a 66 Hemi Plymouth Satellite he raced and drove daily until he traded it for a 69 six-pack Super Bee. Wow, he was a serious car person to have them cars. Because them are some serious classics.
Kim, do you like this picture? You usually like these pictures.
The Mustangs on... two of them lined up. Car haulers and the Mustangs in front of the Ford dealer.
68 Mustangs. And some other 68 cars.
I'll bet you that's the Ford dealer owner. What do you think? Standing out
Team
there.
Allen says, from Kentucky, currently living in Texas. I don't know. I think I'd prefer Texas, but I don't know. Jim's Fastback Garage. 2 trucks hauling Mustangs. What a beautiful sight. Yeah. Yep. Man, I mean, I remember that. I remember 68 and seeing all the 68 Mustangs out there. I was in California, so they had those California Special Mustangs. They had, and all the bright colors then. It was just pretty cool to see all that. When we said we were going to do 68, I'm thinking, man, I put that 68 El Camino up on the thumbnail, and I really like that. A friend that had a blue one like that, yeah, that was a really nice car, you know. And 68 was a 1-year dashboard for the Chevelles and the El Caminos that I really liked. And then the Mustangs were good, the Cougars were good, all those first-gen Camaros were good, and Firebirds, and what else? The Barracudas then were just perfect cars. It was the first year for the second generation Chargers. I mean, it was just what a great year was 68 was. And I was 14 then. I had a paper out, and all those car dealers were on my paper out. So every day I'd walk through the showrooms, I'd smell the new cars, you know, that you walk up with that look in the window, and of course the windows are all rolled down. I could smell the brand new interiors, and man, what a time to live, you know. 2X, my opinion, 68 was the best year for cars. I don't know if it's the best, but it certainly would be right up there. Yeah. All those years from about 65 or 6 through the early 70s. There's some good stuff. Man. Yeah, 68 was one of my favorites. But then, like the full-size Chevrolet, I really liked the 67. You know, like the Impalas, because again, the instrument panel. 67 and 8 look so much alike, but they changed the instrument panel, and the 67 was those big round dials. It just looked good, you know. Yeah, 2X is here. Say hi.
Hi, Jeff. Welcome to the stream. Dr. Go is talking about 64 Chrysler that he had to pass on back in the 80s. And Dougster says his Uncle Dave had a 421 4-speed tri-power 2+2. His dad was driving it, and he only one secondary open. Uncle Dave says kicker wide open. Tuhac says, in my opinion, 68 was the best year for cars. It was a pretty good year. There are many noteworthy, especially American cars in 68. They were really, really like, man, there's so many lookers. And they had the style. And I don't know why they didn't, I don't know. They just like, it was very close to pinnacle. There's some stuff after and some stuff before that's really, really good. But like, man, 68 had it going on.
And the first year for the Nova that I liked, the 68 through 72 or 3 and 4, they kind of changed the 3 and 4, those big bumpers and everything. But the 68 through 72 Novas were just wonderful. And 68, it's the first year for that.
Mike says, cool until the voltage regulator tries to burn up on the car on you. Well, it's, you give it wants love, Mike. It wants you to give it some extra attention. It's craving extra love. Somewhere there, it's all getting all hot and bothered, and it needs extra, hands-on to get it, going. And that's how cars get, as they get into that age. You cannot just whoop on them or just drive them. They become labors of love, I suppose. Johnny C said, my girlfriend's dad is 68 SS El Camino 396. Drove it once, very nice. This is back in 81, all original.
I can't zoom that in, but that's from Buddy Carfano, 68 AMX. Yeah, there's another good one.
That's a good-looking car.
Kim's got a video for that, I believe. Which is this? A car on fire?
He said a car on fire. That only happens sometimes.
You bought a car after it was on fire.
I have multiple cars that have been on fire.
Oh yeah, the one
I was driving today's been on fire. The Bronco too. That's what happened. All the wiring, it all burned up.
And you were driving it today. And the
yeah.
What else? Well, the Lost Fire, which was the Crossfire, it is burned up beyond. It's a parts car, definitely.
Yeah.
That'll never be a repaired car.
Probably, yeah, definitely not. Rick from RC Industries was trying to tell me this should be your car. You should fix this car. That everybody would love that. I'm like, I wouldn't love it.
Which set? The Crossfire?
Yeah.
Oh, that thing's beyond repair.
No. Oh no, nothing's beyond repair. Anything could be repaired.
That car is not that car. It ain't. There'd be nothing left.
Oh no, you could fix it.
There's a couple little panels here and there that are okay.
You could fix it, but not me. You could fix it. I can't fix it. I could fix it, but I'm not going to. My time is better spent with something else. I'm not sure what Olive means by Kim's got a video for that. I'm not sure. Okay.
In 68 Torino, man, look at those wheels. I remember those. 68 Torino, I remember that Torino came out. That's another car in 68 that was pretty cool. Who likes a Crossfire? It's a half-breed. Well, she bought the Crossfire because we pulled the rear end out from under it and we narrowed it. We did videos on that, and she wants to back half her Dart and make it four-wheel independent suspension. But, the Dart's running right now, and we have other projects, so it's waiting.
I overestimated the amount of time and energy I would have badly, grossly. And that's just the way it is.
Oh, what's this? This is John Bossum's. This is John's daughter. Hello, John's daughter. Jessica. Oh, hello, Jessica. I missed that part. My dad loves your channel and watches religiously. Thank you for all that you guys share and put out there. Well, thank you. So, where is John?
Thanks for stopping in and saying hello, Jessica.
How's he doing?
Dougster says, my friend restored a 70 SS El Camino, bright white with dark red stripe, big block, 4-speed, beautiful rust-free Michigan car, believe it or not. There's some out there.
I
When people like their cars, they can, but you've got to garage keep it and keep it out of the snow and wash it. And man, it's a lot of work maintaining a car like that in that kind of place.
I had a 72 El Camino, which is same body but different pieces on the nose and everything. And I got that thing. Somebody had hit a deer going 100 miles an hour and wrapped the radiator around the radiator and air conditioning condenser, just wrapped it around the front of the engine. But it went over the top of the frame, so it didn't do anything to the frame. So I put a front clip on it, and it was off a kind of a bad colored green station wagon. So repainted the car, had it repainted. A friend of mine painted it for me, and it was a white 72 El Camino. What a nice car that was. Drove it for a while, sold it, of course. It's a dynamic collection. Everything has to come and go, you know.
Dick Dastardly says his dad bought a new 66 Chevelle with a 396 and a 4-speed, but didn't like it. Traded it on a 66 Hemi and never looked back at Chevy. Okay, well, I guess the Hemi made up his mind. Oh yeah, I did make a video about voltmeter regulator issue on my old Dart. That's absolutely right. Some information. There's some information there that might be useful, but I'm not sure it's quite gonna answer Mike's. I'll be curious to hear what Mike discovers, or
Oh,
if Mike is able to really narrow it and pinpoint his issue. It's always good to learn, because especially with old cars, people start having problems that they never had 20 years ago, because 40 years, 50 years down the road, cars start having problems. Things deteriorate in ways that they never did before. So that's a long time.
can you fix that picture because it's cut
Nope,
off?
I don't think I can. Seafoam green,
Well,
says
I
Mexican
meant to pull
Spec.
up another one, but accidentally brought up Mexican Specs
Oh, pardon me
Opal
so much.
Opal Record.
Oh, oh,
You okay there, Kim?
you know what? We've been off schedule.
Yeah.
We've been up. I can't sleep at night. I'm not tired at night, but man, I'm sleeping in the day. So we're all cattywampus. So, I mean,
Opal Record.
he's going to be exhausted too, because I know
It's
he didn't sleep at all, and then he had to work this morning. Or no, you worked half the night.
Boat Anchors here. Good evening.
And then I had to go to the doctor, so I had to get up. And then today, even though it was bitter cold, my dumb I really wanted to get my van out. So we went out in the bitter cold and dragged it out with the Bronco 2 today. Dragged it out of the mud. That was fun. But like, we were up all night, then we did that thing with the cars, and then I went to the doctors, and we're both exhausted. So pardon me for yawning.
Oh, maybe it's an Opal. Oh, Record. I thought it was a Record.
And I suggested, I
Oh, it's
floated
an
it out
Olympic
there.
one.
Do you just want to take tonight off and we'll both get some sleep? Of course not. We're not going to do that. We would not want to miss
Oh,
our
I didn't.
Tuesday night
I didn't
stream.
sleep all night. Then I started where I thought I can't sleep, so I just started working at 3:30 in the morning. Finished up sometime in the day, then early morning. Then we went out and did the thing with her van, and then I decided. Oh, she went to the doctor, and then I decided I was going to get some sleep. So I got in bed and 3 hours of tossing and turning, never went to sleep. So yeah, drank some caffeine, and here I am. I'll sleep tonight. Uh, so Mexican Specs telling about this, not just a record, but a record
Olympico, to commemorate the 68 Mexico City Olympics. That's awesome.
But what I meant to
That's really
bring
cool.
up was 38 Racing. I just clicked the wrong one. Ooh, that's like really close. Um,
I mean, that's the same
that's
picture.
a 68. That's a 68 Chevy he had. Let's see if I can get another picture of it. There it is. It's parked.
It was a 68 Chevy. Now it's the top half of a 68 Chevy.
Oh, John Boston's his daughter, who is, what's her name? What's her name? I forgot her his daughter's name already?
Was it Jessica?
Was it? I don't know. Scroll back a little bit so I can see. And then scroll right back.
Oh, he was busy in the garage.
Yeah.
Well, thought I'd say hello.
Jessica, you're right. Okay, come back.
Okay.
See, you got a better memory than I do.
Aha.
So, yeah, okay, that's Jessica Buff. I'm sorry. Yeah, short-term memory problems. Okay, so there's 38 Racing's car, and then there's another picture of it. Oh, yeah. Man. Yeah, it's a little rough now, isn't it?
It just needs a minor restoration.
Needs a headlight and
Yeah,
Mexican spec can probably get him that running
marker
light,
yeah.
and then paint and like pull the weeds away.
Yeah,
Fire it up.
Dust it off and take it for a drive. It probably needs some brake work.
The patina. I don't like patina.
Patina.
Yeah, what's his name up there?
Yeah, both of our brains are a little bit stagnant. Bad Chad.
Bad Chad calls it Pantina.
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 That's Canadistanian.
Then his girlfriend laughs because it's not Pantina. So what was this? Oh, that's that bright green truck.
Oh,
Tommy
Jessica
Hanlon
says he talks about you guys all the time, and we appreciate you. Wow, that's
That's
great.
cool.
Thank you. That's so generous of you to say. We're just here doing our thing, talking about old cars, and trying to bring people together to have a good time and be entertained on a Tuesday night. Tuesday night's our night, and then other nights of the week, there's other people that put in the work to entertain people in our car community.
That's why other nights of the week we come on so late, is so we don't interfere with anybody else. And we kind of end up working in the shop late at night anyway. So if we're in the shop, we might just go live at 10 o'clock at night and go for a few hours.
The lives really are a nice way to, it feels like a little bit of a get together. You know, more so than the long form content. You can do something a little more structured and tell a story maybe. But the lives are nice because everybody's here chatting, contributing stuff. I'm sorry I'm not able to read every comment. I know I'm missing stuff, but it's actually it's a lot of work sometimes. Reading everybody gets excited and starts chatting. We appreciate it,
Well,
but I can't read it all.
Tommy Hanlon's here from Ireland.
Welcome to the stream. Look, he
And-
found a little clover emoji even.
And is that a clover or a shamrock?
Shamrock? Oh, I don't know.
Let's see here. 38 Racing, that thing was stomped everywhere. Mice built a condo in it, 375 horse, 327. Oh, that must have been something. Until the mice built the condo. Mice can be so destructive.
You know what? I think they built something in the dash of my van. I was driving it today. It stunk.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that when I got in it. It was nice and warm. You started up, remember? It was sitting there running. When I got in it, it was nice and warm in there. Okay, let's see what other pictures I have. I'm trying to pull some pictures.
Dougster said, a
Oops.
friend of the family was really smart, yet strange individual, would stay up for days at a time working on his projects, then would sleep for a solid 24 hours and do it again. Raging alcohol. Well, yeah. I mean, that would turn you into a raging alcoholic. I've had moments like that. In the summertime, I am sometimes guilty of working near continuously, or when I was younger especially. I would stay up all night working on something, but
Can you imagine that?
we're not that productive around here anymore.
Tommy Hanlon, Shamrock, see?
Thank you for the correction there.
Well,
68
that's just-
Mercury Cougar. That is
Wow, with a
beautiful car.
427. Can you imagine
Wow.
buying that with a
They
427?
were really pumping out the classics in 68.
You'd be in there adjusting your valves every so often because they were solid lifters.
Do you think 20 years from now people will still be looking at cars from 68?
I don't know. You know what it is? It's like
Reverence?
people like my age,
Yeah.
I remember those brand new, So to me, that's really something. But to somebody that's, well, even like your age, you're quite a bit younger than me. I don't know. You might be kind of the end of that. group. I don't know.
Maybe I am, because I still think that that's a fantastic looking car. And a lot of the cars from the late 60s are really, really amazing. And the motors were, they had some killer options, you know? And I don't know. Probably people younger than me are not so fond of the cars that are that old. They're probably looking at stuff that's a bit newer. That makes sense. That makes sense. But I think they're so good that they'll always be around. There'll always be people who want to hold on to them. Whereas something like a Model T or a Model A, I think that they're starting to waver in popularity because they're not such good drivers.
Well, but they were when they were new. I mean, you can make them good drivers.
You think?
Yeah.
Not a Model T.
Oh, not a Model T, but
You're
well,
not
Model
going to
T
drive
was
that on the
okay.
highway.
But I mean, cars from this era, you can make them nice. Here we go with
Oh
an
yeah,
ad.
from '68, that's a fantastic car. You can take that out and have fun.
Um, let's see. Mexican Spec says, I'm surprised the headlight covers line up, right, Buff? Yeah, you know, were mine that bad? I don't remember. Let me see. How bad were mine? I don't remember, because mine, the interesting thing with mine was getting it running. That was a big deal. Getting mine running with that Chevy engine in it was a lot of work. And I was, you know, I had a business and I was busy and didn't work on that car every day. But I did get it to the point where it was running. You're going to have to cover while I look at this.
Gearhead says that he believes the A body Chevelles were really nice. I think a lot of people are really fond of them, but I know that Dick Dastardly was saying that he kind of found them to be rattle traps. I don't know. Maybe it depends on what day they rolled off the assembly line.
Can you fix that so it's...
No.
No.
All right. There it is.
Yep, there it is with the headlights that don't line up. And
oh boy, do they not line up.
Mexican Spec remembers that. That little thing in the middle of the grill, that little divider, there's like a little grill in there with a Mercury head on it. And I didn't like that, so I took that out and welded that up and then primered it and filled the little spots on it. I never did paint that car. I ended up trading it for... I traded that for 2 cars and some money, and I was supposed to get a boat, but my wife at the time didn't like the boat, and so I ended up just getting money and 2 cars. So anyway, and I got 2 pretty nice cars.
Mexican Spec asks, what do filmmakers use as the hero cars in all the action movies? This is the most expensive cars. Whatever the advertisers pay them to make the hero of the movie, right? Do you think Dodge paid for them to use that car as the General Lee?
Oh, who knows?
Was that an advertisement? Was that a sponsored thing?
They I don't know if they wanted to do that or if they wanted to distance themselves from that. I don't know. Okay, let's look at the ads. We had Vitamin Shop, Fresh Pet Dog Food.
Thank you, Mike. You get 2 points for telling us about your advertisements. Thank you for bringing that to the channel. Vitamin Shop and Fresh Pet Dog Food have sponsored us tonight. So say thank you to them.
Crash's Roadrunner Garage just had a Timo commercial.
Timo.
Johnny C. O'Keefe's Hand Cream and Wick Studio.
Johnny C., you get 2 points. Wick Studio makes websites too.
Oh, Hippie Long says, Buff, a guy from Canada made a Cougar Fastback. It's cool. Isn't that what Kiwi isn't he doing that?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't see that project.
I thought Kiwi did. Kiwi, the guy that's he's about, I don't know, he's down near Uncle Tony.
He does do a lot of work on Mustangs.
I think he's got a Cougar that has that's a fastback. Team Allen, Sculpture Nation's exercise app. Look up fastback Cougar. Yeah.
Oh, Kim, maybe Team Allen, you get 2 points for calling out your advertisers.
Kim, maybe you can look that up on yours because I can't do that from
What
over here.
what do I want to look up?
Fastback. See, Hippie Long saying that Fastback.
Fastback Cougar Project. Okay, I
Yeah,
will look it up.
see what comes up, and then if it doesn't come up, we'll look at Kiwi's and see if his comes up. I think Kiwi did his with a '69 Mustang Fastback, which is not the same year, but there's a lot of them, or the few of them that I have seen are those are all videos. Let's see.
Kiwi is doing it, but Kiwi's not in Canada.
No, but Kiwi did one.
That's
yeah,
from May of 23.
There's several of them around.
Autotopia is doing
38 Racing says, I feel left out, no ads. Tommy Hanley, up to recent years, Aer Lingus, our national airline radio call sign internationally, was Shamrock. Okay. Their livery also had a Shamrock motif on its tail. Yeah, Shamrock. What are they still flying? Aren't they still Shamrock? Well, it's like America West Airlines was Cactus. They were based in Phoenix, or not, yeah, in Phoenix. And then when they sold out to who'd they sell out to? I don't remember. They retained the Cactus call sign, and then they sold out to American, and then the Cactus call sign went away. I always liked that Cactus call sign. Okay, what is this? Mexican spec says no, they are California black and gold plates. I don't know what that's about.
your license plate.
Oh, mine.
Someone
yeah.
asked if that was a Pennsylvania plate,
Oh.
and it does look vaguely of a Pennsylvania plate.
That's the 1963 base, which was run all the way up until about 1970, 69 maybe, and that's a 67. So that was the original plate on that car.
Mike N made an amusing Cougar reference. Mike.
Yeah, Speedbird is British Airways. That's their call sign.
Hot Wheels Elite Series from Mattel Creations. Gearhead, explain. I'm confused.
That's a commercial? I don't know.
I don't know. Was that a commercial, or was that is he talking about something that we should be looking up?
Yeah, Mexican spec says that's a 67 plate. That's right. It was issued in 67, but it's a 63 base. They came out with that style plate in 1963. And I think it was up through 69 when they went to the ones with the blue background.
Johnny C says, I still have my 67 Malibu. It's a convertible, so it had whistles and rattles. The straight six and power glide sound is very distinct. Can hear a power glide idling a mile away.
I had a 67 Chevelle, or Malibu, I guess. And it had a 6-cylinder and a power glide. That was the one I got a really good deal on it because the guy brought it by, and he brought it in there as a knock, 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 and he sold it to me cheap. I don't know, like $50 or $60 or something. It was a gold car that was straight. It was a 4-door, and somebody reupholstered it, so the upholstery was perfect in it. And so I bought it, and it was sitting there all day. And then evening came around. I jacked it up and started up, and I was going to go under there with a stethoscope, probably a screwdriver against my ear, and try to figure out where the rod was knocking. And I got under there to do that, and I'm seeing stuff I want to comment on here. But anyway, I got under there, and what it was is the torque converter was put on with, torque converter has studs. And they put nuts on it that were not lock nuts, so the nuts were backed off. So I put lock nuts on there and washers and tightened it down. Man, no more knocking. So the knocking was the torque converter rattling in the flex plate. Man, I started that thing up. It ran perfect. So I drove that thing around for a long time, and then I ended up selling it. I made money on it after I drove it for a long time. Brickyard, I don't think that's United. Brickyard is, it could be one of the United Regional. Who the heck is Brickyard? I should know that call sign, who they are. Yeah, United's just United, but Brickyard might be one of the regionals. Gearhead says it was an ad. Johnny C, do they tell you when the fluid is low?
Yeah, you get 2 points for your ad. Gearhead.
Oh, Republic Airlines. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Brickyard is Republic Airlines. Because they're based in Indianapolis. So, the Brickyard is the Indianapolis Speedway. Yeah, I like call signs like that where they do something other than the name of the airline. Man, how'd you like that accident in Canada? Everybody got out of that thing. Oh, man. I mean, a big old crappy accident, and everybody got out of it. There's some injuries. Let's hope they're all okay, but, man, everybody got out of that thing. My car had a 63 South Carolina plate on it. I took it off, and it disappeared. The car or the plate, hopefully it was, neither's good. 283 and a Glide is a great cruiser. Man, I like Power Glides. Boat Anchor, I had a 67 Cougar that was green, and I put red stripes on it and called it the Cougar. Yeah, my Cougar was kind of greenish color. You can see what color it was, well, sort of, but it was, somebody had repainted it with a cheap paint job and the big pieces of paint. I washed it in a spray car wash, big sheets of paint came off. So then I started sanding on it and fixing it. But then I put that Chevy engine in it. I've had that picture up there too long. If any of you haven't seen that, well, there's another picture, but there's a better one of the, oh, what happened? That picture didn't come up. Why isn't that picture coming up?
I don't know, but don't keep clicking it.
It's got a little spinning. Yeah, it's
do something different.
Well, now it's stuck. Okay, let's see if I can. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, that was a Chevy in the Cougar. I don't know what possessed me to do that. I had all that stuff, so I just built it. Some people liked it. Some people it pissed them off. Okay, let's see if I can get rid of some of these. I don't know what that is. I don't know where that came from. Where's that coming from?
You clicked too many times, and now we just need to stop. Quit clicking on things and let your computer do some things. We are going to the dyno room.
Yeah, because
welcome to. Oh man, our time travel has taken us much further back than 1968. My computer's pissed off. This isn't 1968. What's happened here, folks? Just close it.
I'm trying to close it. Okay. It's being an asshole.
All right, so we've neglected to chat for a few minutes. Dougster says the car sounds like it's wound out on the 1-2 shift. Then you really wring its neck. I guess that's a Power Glide reference for a 283 with a Glide. Mike wanted to know if we saw the video of the CRJ crash at Pearson.
Where's this?
I don't know if we saw video. I saw video of the wreckage, but I didn't see a video of the. Did you see a video of that crash?
There was a crew waiting to taxi out and take off, and they videoed it and they got it. It was a pretty up close video, and I can see what happened. It was really gusty, and they came in and it looks like you got real gusty conditions, and the wind went away for a second, and it looks like it just rolled on that side, hit really hard on the right side. And as it flipped over, it took the wing off that side. Terrible crash. Big old fireball, but I think the fireball was probably from the wing that ripped off, was full of gas, so it went away from the airplane. So I think that's probably why everybody's able to get out of that thing. They interviewed one guy that I saw, and he said he took his seatbelt off and fell on his head, and he had a gash in his head, but he was basically okay. And he helped some other people get out of there, and everybody got out of it. And there were some people that got hurt, but you know, what I've heard is nothing life threatening, but some people got hurt. Yeah, he hit really hard. I had that happen one time in front of a lot of people, came in, and man, that airplane wouldn't come down. I had the throttle back all the way and the nose stuffed down, and it's climbing, because you know what a rotor is. It's like a tornado, but it's on its side, so it's spinning like this. So as you fly into that, you can't see it. As you fly into it, you get all this lift, and then till you get to the backside of it, man, all of a sudden it just drops out. And I remember trying to get that thing to come down, and it wouldn't come down. I was probably about 50, 60 feet, something like that. And it's like, man, I got the throttle back all the way. It's not sinking. And all of a sudden, out of the bottom of my eyes, I see my airspeed indicator go down to just about zero. And I was like, whoo. And I full throttle, push the nose forward to try to get some airspeed. And by then I was at the ground, so I just hauled back on the stick. And there was enough energy to rotate the nose up, but I hit really hard. It broke, same thing, it broke the landing gear on the right side. And I went sliding off the runway and into the grass. And it was in an air show. Why would it be any other way? For a million people. So then, here comes the fire trucks and stuff, and some guy's running over to me with an orange shirt on. And he says, "You okay?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm fine." So he got on his radio and called off all the equipment. There I am standing there next to a broken airplane. Felt like an idiot. Okay, I don't want to go over these videos. I know it might be interesting, but anyway. Tommy Hanlon. It came in fairly steep from what I could see. It's a miracle about every soul walked away. Yeah, if you want to see a good report on it, look at Blanco Lirio. And he does a pretty good report with what we know right now. And he shows you the glide path and everything that was recorded. And it's I think what happened is the bottom just dropped out of it at the end, and there was nothing left. And when that happens, is that a 68 plane? What's it? Oh, 68 plane. The airplane? Nope. It was pretty new. So let's see. Can I bring up something else?
Here's some trucks from 1968. What truck do you guys like best?
Oh, Mexican Spec sent pictures of more trucks. There's a lot of pictures here. I'm not going to show all of Mexican Spec, but I'll download a bunch of them of this truck.
Mexican Spec, let's see the pics we all sent. We're into our second hour.
Well, yeah, I'm getting
into our second hour.
This is the last of Mexican Specs. I mean, I showed a lot of them. God, there's no good pictures of this truck. Oh, here's one. Okay, I didn't download all of them because he had a lot of them.
Wow, Mexican Spec's giving him a hard time. He wants to get back to cars from 1968.
Okay, here we go. Except you gotta... Yeah, here we go. Man, that's quite a thing.
What is it?
It's a Dodge. 68 Dodge, I think.
Is it a Power Wagon? 200, huh?
And then I'm going to start going through here. Did they have the Mangusta in 68? I think so. Can you look up and see if there's a Mangusta in 1968? Try 1968 Mangusta.
Sure.
Yeah, look at that. I remember these. I remember driving these. That's pretty interesting, and I liked it because the shifter was coming out of the dash in that thing. Mexican spec says it's a U.S. truck, two-wheel drive, three-quarter ton, beige power wagon. Is that? Yeah, they did have the Mangusta. We can show that when I'm done with this bunch of Mexican spec pictures. Yeah, I like this dash, and I like
That's
the.
a good looking.
Yeah, I like the.
Good looking interior and dash.
Yeah, this is a pretty nice truck. Yeah, and look at the upholstery. Is that a sunroof? Somebody put a sunroof in that?
Oh, it does look like a sunroof. Well, it's Mexico.
Yeah, it's a nice day, I guess.
Well, they probably need the extra air. Those wing windows. That looks very off-road capable. Doesn't it?
It has that look. Big tires, jacked up. There's a lot of people that like that. I'm surprised that thing hasn't sold. I don't know. How long have you had it? I bet that thing will. It's a border crosser.
Drive it through the river.
Nope. It is imported legally. It has papers. I can smell that interior. Old Dodges have distinctive smell, says 38 Racing. Okay.
Oh, as long as it doesn't smell like rodents.
Okay, can you bring up because Olive asked about it, the Mangusta. If you could pop that on.
Oh, no, I can't bring up a Mangusta. Oh, you mean a picture of a Mangusta? 1968 Mangusta. Bam! There it is. By D. Tomaseo.
De Tomaso.
Oh.
De Tomaso, they also built the Pantera and some other things, but...
Which picture do you like? I'll bring up...
I like that yellow one there that you got the cursor on.
Oh. Badang!
Man, is that a nice car. The Pantera was a better car, but I think that's a better looking car. Yeah, I like those, and that's the one where
it's so squat.
The back end opens up. Like, see if you get a picture of the. Can you look around and see if you see one with the engine compartment open?
I remember we saw some.
Yeah, we looked at. There's one.
There's one here.
Down below that, right below it.
There it is. Okay.
Yeah, see, that's what it looks like with the engine compartment open.
That's a nice
I got to drive one of those one time. It was just a head trip to drive. You know, I was probably like 17 years old, and it was in the shop, so I drove it. And, 17 years old, and you get to drive something like that. Head's this big around. You think you're really cool.
Is that a 302 Ford V8 in that
It's
car?
a 302 Ford.
I'll bet you that flew.
302 Ford with a Hewlin 5-speed.
I bet you that thing whooped.
Oh, it'd go fast. It didn't accelerate real fast, but man, it was 130 miles an hour pretty easily. And then it didn't want to slow down. Let off on the gas. It just felt like it just kept on going. Yeah, Lester LeSabre says 68 C3 Corvette. There you go. The first year for the C3, and that was quite a car in 68. See, I remember the Chevy dealer was on my paper route, and I went in there, and those things were there right away, the 68 Corvettes. And I was down at there was a hobby shop that was close to my paper route. I went in there and bought a model of one right away. Had to have one. And there was a guy at the newspaper that worked at the newspaper, bought a 68 Corvette, one with the removable hardtop, and it had a 427 and a 4-speed, and he drove in there the day he got it, and it was sitting there, and he turned the key off, and it wouldn't turn off. So he drove it back to the Chevy dealer to get him to fix it.
Mexican spec says not many people are looking for swept line trucks.
Really?
That truck, that's a nice looking truck.
That's a really nice truck.
I mean, for your money, right? Would you rather have this truck?
Well, I don't know what they're asking for.
I don't know, but what would you rather invest in? This or like a new truck?
Oh, I'd rather have this.
This is a beautiful
This is a
piece of machinery.
This has got real steel, and it's What engine is it?
I don't know, but Olive says it's a two-wheel drive truck.
I don't care.
I thought with those big center hubs it would be
Ads.
I thought with the big center hubs it would be a four-wheel drive, but you could convert it to a four-wheel drive. I would convert this to a four-wheel drive. This is a beautiful truck to be a four-wheel drive. You know?
I just drive it.
That's a good looking truck.
Okay, Specs and Spec says it's about 11.2 delivered to the border.
I mean, for a fully restored truck like this,
And that is pretty nice. The only thing that truck didn't have was it didn't have any floor covering. But you know what? You can see that the floors are good. That's for darn sure. I mean, so you buy carpet for it or
that's the thing.
Rubber mats or something. You know, that'd be fine.
By this age, all this stuff is very attainable. Anything you need for this truck, you can get. You could still source
38
from someplace
racing.
reasonable.
38 racing. Shingrix drug ad. I don't even know what that is.
Okay, well, you get 2 points. 38 racing. He was complaining earlier he hadn't gotten any advertisements. Well, now he did, and you got your points. And we've heard the name, but I don't know who that is. But I thank them for their support through their advertising.
Oh, here we go.
Mexing Spec says I would put smaller tires on it, though. No way. Those tires scale very nicely to that truck. Or I guess you could put smaller tires on it for like some of the time and just put those on when you want to have fun.
Here's one. Okay, you're going to have to...
Shingles treatment. Oh, Shingrix is a shingles treatment. Oh, shingles are nasty.
Man, I was supposed to get a shot for that to prevent it, but I had 2 shots that day, so it wouldn't give me a third one, and I forgot all about it. God, I should go do that before I completely forget. Oops, that's
going
not what I
that big
wanted.
doesn't help the two-wheel drive. I don't know. If you have the Sure Grip in the rear end, two-wheel drive is very capable. But I don't know. What's the bigger tires are good for reduced rolling resistance? I don't know. Why do they put big to end ground clearance? So I mean, it depends on what you're using it for. Most people don't need tires that big. It's just fun to have tires that big.
Crash is a Midco ad.
Mike Murphy is here. Welcome to the stream.
And Johnny C. Uni. I don't know what Uni is. Uni Pizza? Never heard of them. But they're helping support us.
Now we've heard of them. Thank you for your support. Same with Midco. Crash is Roadrunner Garage and Johnny C. Thank you for calling out your advertisers, and you both get 2 points.
Mike Murphy's here. Good evening. You see that?
Yeah, I already read Mike Murphy's comment.
Oh, I missed it.
Oh, it's a 360 V8, by the way. Oh, that's a good engine. That's a real good engine. You can buy all kind of brand new bolt-on parts for 360 Chrysler engines still. It's the LA series engine. 68 they were out. Yeah. Oh, and 68 would have been a good compression ratio. What would the compression ratio been on a 360 and 68?
Well, I don't think the 360 was around in 68.
Why not?
Because I think there was a 318. 68? 318 and a 273. I don't think they put the 273s in the trucks. Yeah,
well, when did they come out with the 360 V8s? It wasn't long after 68.
Well, they had the 340 and some of the Barracudas and stuff, and then the 360 was after that. I don't know. It was in the 70s, wasn't it? I'm not sure.
I don't know. I just know it's the tall deck engine of the LA variety.
Oh, I really don't know.
Okay, so it could be a mix and match engine, but a 360 is a good, if you want some power in a truck, a 360.
He says it isn't.
Do some towing and stuff.
It isn't the original engine.
Okay, well, I guess that makes sense then.
Can we get this picture up?
What picture is that?
The one I have on my screen over there.
That's a good event. Where'd that come from?
It came from Dick Dastardly.
There it is.
That's Dick Dastardly, And he says at a keg party, I was dragging a Chevy four-wheel drive backwards. So he was winning the tug-of-war. X-Spec says,
That looks like fun.
yeah, can you imagine
He's
that?
got the stacks on it too. It's
And he
all
was, and he was,
tricked out.
and he was dragging a Chevy backwards. That's pretty funny.
I guess it's a W100. That's a heck of a fun truck to have. That looks like some trucks I've had. Oh, I got to sneeze. Oh, give me a minute to sneeze.
Just gotta go
Read some
sneeze.
comments.
Just gotta go sneeze.
Read some comments.
Mostly old parts. Hey, everyone. So, how are you this evening? We're having a picture show. Mike in until the chain snaps and busted his his rear glass. Yeah, it'd take off in a hurry. Yeah, it's the tug-of-war. You know, if you turn around, you could have a push-a-war. Each push each other backwards. Yeah, keg party with a Coors Light van in the background. Yeah, it looks like stacks on that Dodge. Dick Dastardly can tell you about it. It's his truck. The Dodge is pulling something. Look close. Yeah, it's pulling a Chevy. He said he's pulling a four-wheel drive Chevy backwards. So the Chevy they're each pulling, but he's winning because he's pulling the Chevy and the Chevy's trying to go the other way. But the Chevy's losing. Kim said she had a sneeze, but I don't hear her sneezing. Maybe she's okay. I hope she's okay. But I'm going to start sneezing if I don't get a cough drop in because my throat's starting to bother me. Yeah, I should probably bring up some other pictures. I have more. I think I have more. What else do I have? What's this one? I don't know what this one is. Oh, Oldsmobiles. Oldsmobiles.
Oldsmobiles. Guys, I had to take my contacts out. They're making my eyes burn really bad tonight. I think it was because of the heat's running so much.
38. That chain was just stiff. The Chevy was pushing the Dodge backwards. Are we doing okay with all the rain? You know what? We had some flooding around here, but not right where we are. But as you head into town, yeah, there's the river. Goes right along the south edge of town. That river is way more than full, covering up one big park that's now it's underwater, and it's right up to the road, and it's never that close to the road. So yeah, it's
all the places that might get flooded around here, and there's quite a bit because there's some low-lying areas, got flooded. And it's bitter, bitter cold, so it's a terrible time to have water that you don't want because it's freezing cold out. It's sub-freezing weather.
We're up kind of high, and then the property here is kind of, this kind of stuff. And there's a tree line that's the low spot on the property, and of course the water just runs down into the tree line. And I think that tree line's kind of an underground creek or something. But, it's... Yeah. So the only thing with us is that the ground is so soft right now. Kim got stuck in her van in a place it's slightly uphill, but...
And it should be driveway. It's not like I was just riding around in the grass. I got stuck in the driveway right in front of the garage, which is good because I popped a brake line that I had to replace, which will be in a video that I will have out maybe before this weekend. So watch for that. Some videos about the Bronco 2 and the van coming up real soon.
And Dick Dashley says he dragged the same Chevy backwards on blacktop. He was mad.
Oh, I'll bet he was, because Chevy guys are very, very proud. What did you have up on them,
Traction.
Gasterly? Yeah,
Traction.
traction. Was it tires? Was it? Did you have sure grip in it? Were you four-wheel drive and he was two-wheel drive? Like, where was the advantage? Did he not understand the advantage? Where was the advantage from? I saw that Levi broke down around
A
Clarksville. It
levee.
looked like, oh, a levee?
I saw that a levee broke down around Clarksville. Maybe that's why it was flooded so badly. I really don't
Oh.
know. I just saw somebody had some drone photos or some, may have been helicopter or something, and they all right where we drive, you could see the water right up to the road. But they had there's a Clarksville website, and they showed a lot of the areas around that are flooded.
Like during hurricane season, it seems like we get weather that blows in like that where it rains for like 3 days straight, just torrential. But I mean, it's odd. It wasn't associated with a hurricane. We just got a storm through here. It's just, you know how storms sometimes blow in that long line? We were just right there in that line, and it just dropped rain, drop rain, drop rain for days, and it just flooded us out.
Who sent
But
this
we're
picture?
we're out of the floody part of town, So I drove in today to a doctor's appointment, and I saw lots of places that were just swamped that should have drained by now, and the river was incredibly high. Like the marina is you can't go down to the marina because the road is underwater still. So it'll take a couple days for the water to go down, and people whose houses are flooded, say a prayer for them because this is a terrible, with it being this cold, terrible.
Oh yeah, it's cold. It's below freezing, so
Mexican spec says he'll keep his mouth shut with temperature so we don't get jealous. We're jealous, Mexican spec. We truly are.
So yeah, it's supposed to snow tomorrow, so I don't know how much snow, but it's cold. It's below freezing, so.
Oh, Mexican spec says it looks like they're two-tone cars going to Hearst.
Yeah, this I was gonna. JB sent this in, but JB's not here tonight. He even said he wasn't gonna make it, but he sent some pictures in. So I don't know the story behind this picture. Looks to me like from the file name, it came from probably from a Facebook or something like that.
Oh, John Bossum's asked me about my skid steer. And we bought that
Oh man,
a year and a half ago.
that's
I
skid
spent
steer.
all last winter trying to fix that stupid skid steer.
Originally, that skid steer had like a 16 horsepower diesel engine, but when she got it, somebody had put a 24 horsepower two-cylinder Honda gas engine in it. And it's mounted in there nicely
Much
and everything.
goodly.
But
Yeah.
there's a lot of worn out stuff because it runs hydraulic pumps and then there's hydraulic motors that make everything work. And all that stuff was leaking and not
Yeah.
working right. And one of them, it had like two right hand or two left hand motors. So
And the tanks were cracked and
one
they
side would
and
go better than the other side. So she's bought a lot of pieces and parts and spent a
Yeah.
lot of time on it. So it runs, but it leaks oil.
and the muffler broke off, so it's really loud.
Oh yeah, so you
Man.
can't use it too early in the morning or too late in the evening because then the neighbors, even way up the street, would not like it.
It's got the neighbor hater pipe on it right now.
Did you notice?
Loud.
Did you notice when you started up your, what was that thing?
The Bronco
The
too?
Bronco. Did you notice all the dogs up the road started barking?
I'll bet they did.
Because
It's wide open headers.
It's uncorked.
It's
and-
loud.
Well, you started it. Actually, I started it. What a goofy thing. She's got like a wire clamped on the battery for the ignition. Got my jumper cables out there. She goes, touch that. And I touch it and it goes, boom. It started right up. But it's, I didn't know it was uncorked. So it's like, wow. Oh, it's uncorked.
I have exhaust for it, but I'm not going to hook it all up because that motor's got to come out.
That engine's got to come out.
The 2.8 is bad. I got to put a 2.9.
That engine runs so good.
Oh, it's got really good
But you know what? After a few minutes, it overheats
The engine
because
block's cracked.
something's cracked. Yeah,
It's
it's
no
just getting
good.
tons of exhaust in the cooling system. So she's got another engine for it. It's just another project. Here we are, another project. We got to get my car out of there first. It's just we haven't been going up there. It is just too cold. And we want to enjoy the work up there at the shop. And if we're up there just freezing, burning wood and trying to stay warm, that's not fun.
And
And I've been working.
The wood that I got at
Yeah.
the sawmill is about run through, and that was one of the reasons why I really needed to get the van unstuck, because I can go back up the sawmill and load it with some more wood.
Wow, to hell with the neighbors, they'll be okay. Well, here's the thing. Most of the neighbors are pretty nice. There's one woman that, she gets a little irritated with me. Like if I mow and the mower
neighbors are nice.
and the mower shoots the grass out onto the street,
Yeah.
she
was just uptight. She had just
she yells at me before I have a chance to sweep it up.
Yeah.
I mean,
There was gardeners there all day. They cleaned her property all up real nice, and then all of our trees were dropping leaves, and the wind was blowing it back on her property. So she was a little uptight that day.
I try not to aggravate the neighbors, and
they're nice.
The neighbors that are up the street from us on our side, really nice people. And he always grows a big garden with way too much corn. So when the corn's harvested, he always comes over and gives us corn. They're nice people. So, and most people have cars that are 4 or 5 years old, and they look like cars that are 4 or 5 years old. And we have cars that are 50 years old. And
a bunch of them, too.
They look like cars that are 50 years old, and some of them don't run.
Starting to look like a scrap yard out there.
And I just like, Kim, we got to get it down the hill.
We got work to do.
And then it starts, they start running, so they end up by the street, and it looks like a running junkyard, and it's like, okay. I just try not to. I don't want the county to show up and go, you got to clean this up in 48 hours. So I'm trying to just make peace with the neighbors.
We live on kind of a nice street, and this is like the oldest, sort of rattiest house on the street. So, yeah, we're going to if I need to get myself in order, because we're going to get known as like
This is it's a old hillbilly house, was built in 1967. All the other houses around here are newer, and they look newer.
That house up there is beautiful.
Well, and that was a little house.
The one with the corn, it's a beautiful
That was a little house, and they added on to it, made it like 3 times.
I'll bet you that house is worth double what this house would go for.
They did a nice job on that. When they added onto it, it's more than twice as big as it was, and they did just an outstanding job. So, what is this? Amen, Spec, a neighbor that blames you for the wind. What it was how the mower shoots the grass out one side while I'm riding the mower, and I've learned to mow this direction with the street over here, so it shoots into the yard. But before she got mad at me, I went the other way, and it shot the grass out onto the street. Well, if it does that, then I just drive up the street and shoot it back. It just sweeps it up and shoots it back in the yard. But I hadn't had a chance to do that. I hadn't had a chance to turn around yet. She's already upset with me. So, yeah, I just don't want to, I just try to keep the peace, Buff, there's quite a few 68 Cudas for sale lately on Facebook and Craigslist. I can't have any more cars right now. I've got to finish the Fox body to the point where I can drive it every day. I am going to so much enjoy that car that, and then I've got the Valiant, and we've got the Dart, and we've got the, what is that thing? The Spitfire that we're going to make an aluminum car. It's just, how did I hear? I saw her coming. Here she comes. Out of her yard, up into the street.
He already knew. He didn't even have to talk.
Walking straight toward me.
He could tell by the gait of her walk that she was going to make sure he got them leaves off the road.
It's like something's wrong. So I turned the mower off. I just clean. Can't you keep this clean? Oh, yeah, just give me a chance. Oh, you guys are the last holdouts in gentrified neighborhood. Yeah, I'm sure you guys are going to draw a little heat.
And you know what? That house across the street was kind of like her, and the people that but they sold that house. The new people who moved in are super, super nice. I can't remember his
Well,
name. What's his name? They're super cool people. So they're not a problem, but yeah, they paid a bunch of money and that house has been fixed up
well, and
now.
he wanted to build a garage, but he couldn't build a garage where he wanted to build it because I think it's because the electric lines are too low or something. I
Oh
don't
yeah.
remember. But so he's got to put it in a different place on the property. But he has a bunch of cars, but they're newer cars. He has
They're
some
nice.
Jeeps and
Yeah, he
things,
has a
but
nice Jeep
Jeeps
and
are like
a
20
nice
years old.
truck.
They're 20 years
All
oldish,
their stuff
but
is really
they
nice.
look new.
Yeah, our stuff is old and everything we own is junk. Except your car. We don't own junk. Your car is a nice one. Your car's a classic, and we're putting it together nice. New window
Well,
sweeps. The
as
doors work
we
really nice. It's really
as
come together
we
good.
as we fix the cars, they look good. They look better, and
The two A bodies look pretty slick
they're a
together.
little rough, yeah.
From
But
directly from the front where you can't see the paint, they look nice.
yeah. Well, all of it wasn't. I wasn't blowing it into a yard. It just kind of was on the edge of the street. It was on the pavement, And if I didn't care, I just would have told her to.
He was gonna clean it up. He's
Well,
very respectful to the
I just was
neighbors.
gonna turn around. I could see what was going on. I was gonna turn around, just drive up the street, blow the clippings back into my yard, which is fine. But she didn't know I was gonna do that yet, and so here she comes. Like, man. So now if I'm mowing near the road, I go that direction first so they blow into the yard. And if I get any on the street, I
We do
clean it
not draw
immediately.
heat from any little thing. That's the one thing. Like she had just had her yard done really, really nice. And then they had they had a tree that came down on their little garage thing and destroyed it. So they probably had that bill. She's probably just really uptight that week. They've never given us any other trouble. Our neighbors are lovely. We have nothing bad to say about them. They're good people, nice people, and they keep their property really nice.
Well,
And out of respect, we should keep ours nice as well. So that's all the else we have to say about them.
yeah.
The good people.
She used to have a dog that bark all damn night. So,
We did
but
get the dogs barking today.
today we had the dogs bark.
That dog's throat is going to be sore from barking
You ought to
the
get.
Bronco
Now,
today.
somebody gives me too much crap. I speak to them in Russian.
Were you swearing in Russian the other night?
I wasn't swearing
is
in
that
Russian.
Russian?
I looked at something happened. I went, "Почему?" which means why. It's like something happened unusual, and I said, "Почему?" She thought I was swearing. I was just like, why did that happen?
It's getting real around here when he starts blurting out stuff in Russian.
Well, I do that just to give her kind of a hard time sometimes. It'll be like, I'll just call something by the Russian name, and she'll look at me. She doesn't have any clue what I'm saying. She thinks I'm cussing at her or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, yablika, apples.
He's always saying Russian stuff at the grocery store. I'm like, I don't know any Russian whatsoever.
Well, I'm thinking you might pick some of it up.
Uh,
I wish I spoke Spanish as well as I speak Russian. They will call the government and say you're a spy.
man, yeah, they'll call the immigration people on us. There's a lot of that going around right now.
When I was in the military, I think overall about Russian airplanes, I knew a lot more about them than I did ours. Now, the ones that I worked on, I knew better because, I was hands-on with them. But like overall, all their airplanes, man, I was like an asset because I knew so much about them all. Russia, Russia, Russia. Oh, here we go, more ads.
More ads. Man.
Yeah, we're going. Look at the time.
We're into 2 hours. Wow. It's overtime now, folks. How are we doing with photos? Did we look at a lot of people's pictures?
All. There's still a few left. I could do a couple more.
Oh, I was just curious how you did.
Yeah, Buddy Carafano sent in a lot, and
He loves to send in pictures. Thank
So
you,
I've
Buddy
been-
Carafano, for sending in
So
pictures.
there's a '68 Tornado.
Everyone who sent in pictures gets 3 points.
Johnny
Okay.
C., I mowed lawns for 30 years at a university. I know all about directional grass clipping control.
Control.
Okay,
Oh, my tummy's going grumbles.
let's just say, don't talk Russian in the supermarket anymore. We still need you here. Firefox Jet, you must think in Russian. Oh, yeah, remember that movie? I couldn't wait to see that movie, and then it was so dumb, I wish I hadn't watched it. Yeah, where's Dean? Haven't seen Dean tonight. We don't have a representative from New Zealand here tonight. It's an AMD ad.
Crash's Roadrunner Garage gets 2 points. AMD make computer processors. Boy, they used to be super in competition. They were neck and neck with everything Intel did. You don't hear as much about AMD,
I see
but
when I look at laptops, because I'm probably going to have to buy a laptop at some point. I see a lot of them with AMD processors, though. 38 Racing got a Ken's
they've
Furniture
always
ad.
been really price competitive. I used to buy AMD stuff exclusively because it was so competitive price. It was cheaper. You could get a better. I mean, don't be a shy of AMD stuff. They have some pretty good stuff. What's going on?
Got a Ken's Furniture ad, 38 Racing, and a QE ad. And Mexican
Okay,
Spec
you
says
get
3
2
points.
points for that.
Mexican Spec says 3 points each picture. I sent 20 on that Dodge truck. Yeah, I know. I didn't show all 20 of them. I'm sorry. Also, she likes the color on that Tornado. This is one that Buddy Carfano sent in. 68 Tornado. Yeah, Mexican Specs got it right. 66 Tornado. That was the one. I think that's just timeless. What a great looking car. Mike N. Helm Paints ad.
I'm sorry. Mike N, get 2 points for Helm Paints. I wonder who Helm Paints is. Is that house paint? Car paint? Poster paint? Craft paint? I don't know. Everybody has to Google it and see. Thank you to Helm Paints for sponsoring the
Oh,
stream tonight.
Crashes Auto Metal Direct. Well, that's interesting.
Oh, is that who they got it? Auto Metal Direct?
That's what Crash says.
Okay.
Does he get points?
Yeah. But they already said they got other ones. AMD.
Crash did? Oh,
Did you get 2 different? You only get points once per ad break, but if Auto
oh.
Metal
Well,
Direct,
some people are getting 2 ads. Yeah, okay. I guess you're not doubling up the points. So.
no.
And Johnny C. Final Fantasy video game ad. Tommy Hanlon, Wet Leaves on the Road in Autumn, Ireland is like driving on banana skins. Oh,
Johnny
yeah.
C, you get 2 points for your Final Fantasy video game ad.
And Team
Check
Allen.
out the new Final Fantasy video game, I guess.
Team Allen down at the bottom.
I didn't know that. Directive 8020 video game ad. Oh, there you go. Check out the new Directive 8020 game. I don't know what that is, but thank you to them for sponsoring the stream. And if you like video games, check them out because they sponsor the stream.
What is this? Oh, it's from Olive. Okay.
Use a dry line and leaves to rotate as you like. Yet you know what? One time it was wet, but most of the roads were clear, and I didn't even think of it. But I hit the brakes hard under just like a big tree that was hanging out of the road, and there was just leaves kind of there, and I just went zoom, spun the car right around. I was like, whoa! I had no idea that happened, but if the leaves are wet just right, they are like glass.
Oh, Mike N says local paint store, a chain. Local paint store.
Is
Helm
the
Paints.
Helm Paints.
Yeah, I'd never heard of them. Okay, so here I have a question now. Buddy Carfano sent these in. We have this 68 Lincoln Mark III, and then its competition. So which would you rather have, the Lincoln Mark III or the Cadillac Eldorado?
Man,
Very
they look similar.
head-on competition. Man, I don't know which one I'd rather have.
Oh,
But
what motors
okay.
were in those cars?
Well, the Cadillac probably had a 4. What'd they have? 4. I'm trying to do this so we can see both of them. I don't know. The Lincoln had a 460 Lincoln in it. The Cadillac had what, a four? I don't remember what those were. 462. It was before the whatever they had before the 500. I don't remember what it was.
The Cadillac looks more
Oh,
like,
AMD is Auto Metal Direct. Oh, okay.
oh, AMD.
That AMD.
I'm talking about computer
Yeah, that's what
processors.
I thought you meant.
I'm a dummy. May you live in interesting
Oh,
times. It's either a blessing or a curse. It's hard to say.
yeah, 472. You're right. Well, I don't know why I was saying 462 because that was an ancient old Lincoln engine. 472 was the Cadillac engine. So one of them had a 460 Ford in it, the other had a 472 Cadillac. The Lincoln was a rear driver, the Cadillac was a front driver, but they're both
The
rear.
Cadillac was a front driver in
Yeah,
68.
yeah, it's
Like
like
the Eldorado.
well, that is an Eldorado.
Oh, what was the first year for that front driver?
Well, that system came out in 66 in the Tornado. It was a 425
Okay, so
transmission.
that is really tough because I prefer.
Man, I like both those cars. I like both those cars. I don't know which one I'd rather have. I mean,
I hadn't
either one
considered
I'd
that one
enjoy.
was a front wheel drive.
Yeah, Cadillac meant a 429 also, but by this time I think it was a 472. Um, I had a
Ooh, that's
dark
a
red
tough
and a
choice.
white 67 Eldorado when I was a teenager. You're a teenager, you had Cadillacs. Man, I still haven't owned a Cadillac, and I've never owned a Lincoln, and I owned a Chrysler, but it was something that should have been a Plymouth. It was a PT Cruiser. So I guess I did own a luxury brand, but it was a PT Cruiser, which is supposed to be a Plymouth, but they Plymouth name went away, so they put the Chrysler name on it. Weren't Cadillac Eldorados? Yes, they were front wheel drive. 6.7 for the Eldorado first year. Oh, this isn't interesting enough for me to be having to
Right,
range.
she's referring to the interesting "May we live in interesting times"
Oh,
comment, and
every time is interesting.
honestly, I think it's always this interesting. If you look at history, we just only believe that we are somehow separated from it, but really we're just in it like it's always been like this roller coaster of up and down, and maybe there's moments of peace in it, but generally, if you look around, if you look at the worldwide scheme, it's just more of the same. You always
DNR.
have to be on guard.
And Dean Stevenson is here, so we got to say hello to Dean
Dean,
Stevenson.
welcome to the stream. You're here finally.
So does anybody have a preference between these two cars? Pan Pan Pan. It's Dean Stevenson. You know what Pan 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 is?
Isn't that like
That's
Mayday?
Yeah, it's short of a Mayday. Mayday is a full blown emergency. Pan 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 isn't that like not quite an emergency?
Pan cubed.
Let's see.
Exactly. Tedious. Yes, we should be doing so much better. It's
Uh,
disappointing that this is the
so
best that we can muster
well, and if something's like
from
you
society.
just don't like what's going on, ignore that and go on to something you like cars.
I know.
Because you can't do anything about it. It's
Well,
like
I mean, you do what you can, and then from there you have to.
wait till the
And we
next.
all need relief sometimes, right? We can't spend all our time focused on the insanity that is the mess that sometimes the world can
Okay,
be.
Buddy Carfano says the
Yes.
caddy is his choice, which would be the black one.
The Eldorado
John
sleeps for comfortably.
Jo- BNR says the Lincoln. John Bossum says the Lincoln. 38 Racing, I go with the caddy myself, but it's close. Yeah, I don't know. They were both really nice cars. I mean, a Lincoln was, for a big, heavy car, it was kind of a hot rod. I mean, those things will roll pretty nicely. And the Cadillac was no slouch either. The Cadillac, I think, was kind of more luxurious. And I like driving those. But I like driving the Lincolns too, man. It'd be a tough one. Yeah, pan, pan, pan. It's not life threatening.
Oh, I see. Oh, Dean was unfaithfully and watching Kiwi. Well, that's okay. That's okay.
Mexican spec.
Sometimes you just want something different. Hey, guys, check out Kiwi. He does stuff with Fords. He restores Mustangs and stuff like that. He's a friend of the channel. He's a nice guy. He's interesting. Check him out. He does a stream like at
We
the
were
same
just
time as us, and like,
we were just showing one of his cars.
yeah, like it's cool. We forgive you. Just don't let it happen again.
That's why I'm here. Like him. Okay, yeah, get away from
Right? So
everything
you
else.
got to get away from it. You
Yeah.
can't focus all your time and energy because you make yourself crazy.
Okay, yes, Buff, the Eldorado sleeps 4 comfortably. That's what Mexican spec says.
Yeah, that's a big car. Yeah, and that's the 2-door version. The 4-door is the king size, California king. So the Cadillac is a bigger motor,
Well,
and the Eldorado is the front-wheel drive.
by 12 cubic inches.
That's not a big difference.
One has 460 and the other has a 472.
They're both incredibly luxurious cars. I think I'd have to go with the front-wheel drive, and if I were in Pittsburgh,
Because of the ice and snow.
You would use that. You would drive that in Pittsburgh. And the other thing, right, is you have the power steering, right? Not power steering, but you have your power to the road in the direction of front wheel drive is such an asset in bad weather. Such an asset.
So between the two of them, I'm trying to think what I didn't like about the Lincoln. I don't think the Lincoln was quite as luxurious. I don't know. I mean, the Eldorado is pretty nice. What I didn't like about the Eldorado was when you close that hood, it felt like you closed the whole car down on you. I mean, that hood must have weighed hundreds of pounds.
Yeah. Yeah,
I remember that.
Mexican spec. I do not know the significance of the statement, it sleeps 4 comfortably. I thought it was just a cheeky thing to say. So if there's more to it, explain. Do you know why that's extra significant?
Well, Mexican spec had one
Uh-huh.
when he was young. So I don't know, maybe they had 4 people sleep.
Oh, was that like something you did in college there, Mexican spec, that we can't talk about? Or
38 Racing said I had a 75 Lincoln Mark car. Cruising a couch and smoked tires. Yeah, that's what I remember about the Lincolns. You step on the gas and man, it'd burn tires and go. And the front drive Eldo didn't feel that way, but man, it was a nice car to drive, and it wasn't slow. Besides the electrical system, the Lincoln is a shit show. Really? Aunt D's here. Oh, it's the Lincoln, a Mark V. The Lincoln's a Mark III.
Mexican spec says because the floor is completely flat.
And Dean Stevens says Mark IV.
Transmission tunnel.
It's the one on the screen is a Mark III. Both of them had 7-foot long hoods. Yeah, but the Lincoln, the hood's back for that whole fascia doesn't open up, and so the hood just didn't feel as heavy. That Eldorado, that hood went all the way up to the grill, and it was wide, and I remember just how heavy those hoods felt. Man, Hood 38 Racing sleeps forward. Is it 4? Is that trunk room?
No, that's without trunk room. That's 4 comfortably.
I mean, those aren't sports cars. They're not going to handle like a Corvette or something, but they're going to cruise down on an interstate real nice,
Oh, yeah. Confidently. You could probably tow a heck of a big trail. They had tow hitches on those cars, didn't they?
Probably.
Tow your horse trailer.
Cadillac had a cool flat floor, no transmission hump. I remember that in the first car I was in like that was the 66 Tornado with flat floor. Man, I like those cars. I think of all those front drive GM cars, the big ones, the 66 Tornado was that's just like a work of art.
Didn't Chrysler make a bunch of front wheel drive cars that still had the transmission tunnel? so that they could make versions of them that were rear-wheel drive.
I don't know why they had that. It wasn't a very big tunnel. Maybe that's where the shift linkage was. Maybe that's where all the lines and stuff ran. I don't know, but it was a kind of a small tunnel.
Exhaust.
My white one had a bad water pump, and we stayed in the car until the next day. Sleeps 4. Oh, man.
Tim says he likes the Caddy. He worked in the Fisher Body Plant in downtown Cleveland, putting front-wheel drive Eldorado, Riviera, and Tornados together.
Who said this?
Who said electrical this? System in the Lincoln is a
Tim.
shit show, says Mexican's back.
Yeah, the 3 had the hydraulic systems. It got downgraded for the 4, but had the extra safety adds. Having the T-Bird and Mark IV share bits. Oh, yeah, the T-Bird was... I couldn't believe the T-Bird got that big that it was the same size as a Lincoln, but it did. You know, my old Lincoln didn't like high-speed corners. Oh, I bet. No, that's not what it was made for. Come flying around a corner real fast. That's when the hubcaps come rolling off. Also had a 66 Tornado in the gold, it should be. Yeah, you had a 66 Tornado? Man, I like those cars. But now, you know, they're all... Every time I see one, it's like, oh, look at that. And then it's like, they get nothing but trouble, you know. They're worn out. And something that's that complex, you know, that's not going to be fun to fix. Oh, Boat Anchor sent some pictures. Let's see what we've got here. Okay, so right now I need to push this up, get it there, and then we're going to see what is this? What is this? Oh, this is Ron Ward. I don't see a picture yet here. Oh, there's a whole bunch of pictures. I'm sorry, I've missed a bunch of pictures. Bunch of new pictures. Okay, Ron Ward says, let's see what we've got here. I'm not sure what the significance of this is.
Why, it's Waffle House, and there's a Roadrunner.
Oh, there's a Roadrunner in front of it. I think, yeah, why are we looking at Waffle House? Because of the car. Why else?
And we're in the South.
And
there's lots of Waffle Houses near here. Maybe that's Tony's Waffle House. You think that's where
Tony always says
Tony works at
works
that
night shift at Waffle House.
Yeah, that's his Waffle House.
Buddy Carafano has.
Don't make trouble though. You don't make trouble in Tony's Waffle House. Let me tell you.
Buddy Carafano says this is a concept car by Dodge, and it is. That was the Dodge Charger 3 from 1968, and I always said the front looked like a Corvette, and the back looked like I remember something else.
Something else. It very much looks like, yeah, boy, I like what they did with the Charger instead of this.
Yeah, that's a.
Yep.
Okay, here's.
I think they missed the mark with this, and instead they made a real Charger. And
I mean, the 68 Charger was another car that was just so good. Okay, let's see what we got here from.
Oh, the number gives away where the Waffle House is. It's a Kentucky area code. Okay, all right.
Okay, so, Steve Edwards sending in pictures of CB radios.
Because Boat Anchor CB Radio.
Boat Anchor CB Radio.
Check out his channel. He works on CB radios. Makes repairs to old radios. Keeps them alive. Recaps them and all.
Oh, look at that. All those crystals in there.
Ooh, fancy.
See, I don't know what...
Oh, this is the wrong... They can't see because I have it on the wrong screen. There you go. It's a little better picture.
And then the other one was...
It's got the analog dials. That's pretty cool.
You had that in there?
Pretty cool.
Okay, and then let's see. What else do we have?
Dr. Go says, I love the GMC motorhomes. They have their own owners group. Yup. Crits Customs got a Planet Fitness ad. They've been sponsoring us a lot lately. So, thank you, Crits Customs, for calling out your advertisement that you had to endure, and you get 2 points for calling it out. Again, another ad. I'm sorry we have to run ads, but it does help the channel as a whole when we are monetizable.
Dick Dastardly says,
YouTube likes it because they can run ads.
my old 72 Challenger. And then there's another one. See, that's Dick Dastardly.
Oh, I like a Challenger.
That's his Challenger.
If I can save up some money, maybe sell some of these vehicles, I think a Challenger might be on my list of most wanted.
That's his 63 Mexican Speckle like that.
What is that behind the cars? Is this some kind of
looks like a
safety thing?
Yeah, it looks like a drag race or something.
Well, yeah, but see those things behind the car? It almost looks like a metal shield.
I don't know what this. I don't know what that is. Ads? Don't know.
Did you show a picture of a GMC motorhome? They're talking about one.
I'm not sure. Let's see here. 63 Max Wedge. Yeah, that's that Plymouth. Wow. Yeah, Mexican Spec says that I recognize. Okay, then there's more from him, which is I'm sorry I'm quiet. I'm trying to concentrate on what I'm doing.
That's fair.
Oh yeah, there's his 63.
Nice.
And then there's the Challenger. And then let's see what else. There's more pictures. People send more pictures in. I was asleep at the switch here. Buddy Carafano sent.
Get your pictures in early, folks.
Buddy Carafano sent in. Oh, here you go. Here's the Chrysler. Big luxury boat. It was a 68 Imperial.
What motor would they have run in the 68 Imperial?
What is that, a 440?
To compete with the 440?
I think isn't that when the 440 came out? 67 or 8, somewhere in there.
I don't know. I know there were a lot of cars in 66 that the big cars were like 383s.
Well, and they had the 413s and all those, but I think they were up to the 440s by here.
By
I think, I'm not sure. Yeah.
Somebody will know.
Yeah, somebody will know. Here we go with more ads.
We do? Oh.
I think they're getting ads at different times.
More ads? Who got an ad? Wait, did I miss anybody?
I don't think they get hit exactly at the same time, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Mexican Spec agrees. Yes, it was a 440. See, there's things I don't know. Dr. Ghost says if he was younger, he would buy a GMC motorhome and rebuild it.
A friend of mine's doing that.
You're never too old, but yeah, too many projects. We do have to focus. I more and more every day I see that there's not enough time or money or energy to do all the things I'd sort of like to do. I really have to pick the thing that's like the biggest, my biggest want.
I have a friend that years ago, like when we were late teens, he bought a 55 or 56 Thunderbird, maybe a 57. I don't remember what years. One of the early 2-seat Thunderbirds. And he had a body shop work on it, and they did a pretty nice job on it. So that's what he drove. And they got a 57 Ford as well, full-size Ford. And now, here we are, 50-something years later, he's got one of those GMC motorhomes, and he's rebuilding it. So I can see why somebody'd like that.
Buddy Carafano got a Tractor Supply ad. Thank you, buddy. You get 2 points. And Tractor Supply, I don't think I have to say anything more about Tractor Supply. It's a fantastic place if you need Tractor Supply for all your farm and home supply needs. They have an online store so you can see what they have, but the brick and mortar store you could make a whole day of Tractor Supply. It's a good time. Okay, go on.
John Boston says 67 was the first year of the 440. Sounds right.
Okay. I am
Mike
educated now. Thank
Mike
you.
N. True Earth laundry dryer sheets.
Thank you, Mike N. You get 2 points. Thank you to True Earth.
He says weird ads tonight.
You know, like yeah. You know what though? Our stream is strange. We pull in a variety of different kinds of people. We talk about a lot of different kinds of things. So, they figure we probably own a dryer. And they're right. Do you own a dryer, Mike? Was it accurately targeted to you?
Read Dean Stevenson's.
Dean?
Was up there almost to the top. It was 94 degrees Fahrenheit 4 days ago where I was in holiday. It's going to go away.
But not begging. Hey, Stonewood Homes ad. Stonewood Homes. I want to build a New Zealand house. New Zealand ad. Finally, I feel the good YouTube God has rewarded me.
See, so he gets
Great.
2 points.
You do get 2 points for calling out the ad. You got an ad for New Zealand.
That's pretty interesting.
And Stonewood Homes. They're trying to sell you a house. Buy a house. There you go. That's very focused. Yeah. Directed ad. Dryer sheets. No, I am not. You're not. You don't own a dryer, Mike? Okay.
There's 2 things. There's a wetter and a dryer. But they call it a washer.
Mike's not looking for a new dryer. But dryer sheets. Are you looking for dryer sheets? Maybe you didn't even know you were looking for dryer sheets, and that's why they targeted the ad at you. Kim, the ads are targeted to the watcher, not the channel.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know that. It's just we appreciate them supporting us. So we say something about it. It's just something to do. It's something to do.
Something that we're doing. It gives people points, and it makes multi-level marketing. Is that okay? I guess it is. It's got to be. If we don't sell people stuff, then what are we here for? Or at least that's what they might be thinking. We don't know.
Dr. Go, I have one of my short videos showing a nice GMC motorhome turning into Lamberts during the No Name Nationals, heading to the back RV lot. Oh, really?
Okay.
Do you know what those GMC motorhomes look like? They've got the same front drive stuff that the Tornados have and the Eldorados have.
Oh, I didn't realize that, but I'll bet you.
Just look up.
What year?
I don't know what year were those things. 1972, maybe. GMC motorhome. You'll see it right away because those things.
Those are the ones. Okay, let me bring it up. So we're all on the same page. Visual
Those
aid.
things. They have a front drive Tornado Eldorado type.
That's right. They do. I forgot about that.
And do the radiator. I used to be able to do a lot of radiator work without pulling the radiator. You just get underneath the bumper, sit up, and the radiator would be right in front of me. And if it was something I could get at, I could do it without pulling the radiator. But pulling the radiator was kind of a hassle. But I've worked on a lot.
I could see where restoring something like that. That would be a massive undertaking.
Well, that friend of mine's doing one in California.
That's a I mean, that's a house on wheels. As if, taking care of a house wasn't enough. Add a drivetrain, and a septic system and a power system. I mean, it's a whole house. Air conditioning. Yeah, that's a lot. Didn't they have the fiberglass body? That looks like a fiberglass body.
That was a fiberglass body.
Which is advantageous because roof leaks are the thing that destroys a lot of motorhomes. The fiberglass body is very It's a very good thing. I think it's a very good thing. I don't know. Maybe
No,
fiberglass, when it gets old
Dylan,
enough, is problematic.
Dylan's here, but he's already leaving.
Oh, well, thanks for
Right, I'll just
stopping
want to stop
by.
by. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. The Stripes motorhome. Oh yeah, the Stripes. Remember that crazy movie? That was a movie started off pretty good, and then it just got stupider as it went on.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I just keep yawning and I can't stop. They sit lower because no drive shaft.
Yeah, it was all front drive. All that stuff in the back just was air suspension, just kind of held it up. Those are nice. Those are nice vehicles, man.
Yeah, I forgot. I have heard people talk about them, you know, way a long time ago, and I had forgot about that.
Oh, I didn't know there were two different lengths. Yeah, pretty interesting thing. Okay, so Buddy Car Final sent another one, 68 Buick.
Oh, all right. Well, let's check out the '68 Buick. We're rolling through 'em fast, with a sense of urgency. It seems like the one we were looking at was very beige. Well, I mean, it's a motorhome. You don't want it to be too loud of a color. You want it to sort of, you know, not hurt your eyes at the RV park.
Tim said last year he saw one of those motorhomes with the back cut off. He made it into a car hauler with his Camaro drag car. Man, that's going to upset some
Oh
people.
yeah.
Cut one all up. But what the
I
heck?
mean, that could be like if a tree fell on it, was busted, the fiberglass was busted, and you didn't feel like that would be a really good car hauler.
Some people are gonna get upset with me for putting a CB antenna on my car, but it's my car.
People get upset about everything.
It's like
Just do
non-stock.
what you want to do.
It's non-stock, but I like having the radio. So, oh, the Garfano family had a GMC motorhome parked at a campsite. Used too much gas, so he just left it there. Yeah, Olive says she liked these ones with the slanty rear bumpers. If you could look up, what does that say behind where I am? I'm in the way of 68 Buick Grand Sport. Look it up, only look up rear end, and then you'll get to see what she's talking about. Oh, I'm gonna have to start sneezing. Crap. Oh, gotta get. I didn't get a cough drop in it soon enough. Excellent spec. Can you say slanty? Yeah. See how the bumper is. She calls it slanty. It's like a concave bumper, and it slants inwards. That's a pretty cool looking thing, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it's a nice look.
Yeah, that Mexican spec says rear bumper is concave.
Concave.
That's the
I
word.
thought that was like the inside of a circle or an arc.
Concave is
Oh, I guess
like a
it is kind
cave,
of
and
concave.
convex is the other way. Convex would
Hmm. Yes.
be like a bumper in the middle.
Indeed.
Be like a bumper in the middle, and this is like a bumper on the tips. This isn't much of a bumper. It's
Apparently,
a
rear was more challenging to type just than Mex. Hey, sometimes it is. Oh no, you can't. We can't type out of this picture because it's a picture of a site, not the actual
yeah.
site.
Buddy
It's like a
Carfine, he
screenshot.
he sends us links.
So I got to type it in.
The 69 has a white light in the middle, like an extra reverse light.
Oh.
Really? Yeah. Look up I know it's 68 night, but let's look up 69. Same thing, and see what the rear bumper looks like. Where is the light?
It looks like the light is just a little wider.
Oh, look right above. See the little hump right above the license plate? I never noticed that before.
Oh, like right below the trunk lock.
I never noticed
I
that
see it
before.
there. Huh.
Mexican spec picks up on these things, and I never noticed it. I'll notice it on cars I've had, where I've had to do body work and work around all these things. But if it's not a car I've had, I'm probably not as observant. Dean Stevens, a guy in a cave who has been conned. That would be concave.
Oh,
Like Captain
Captain
Cave.
Concave.
Man, I worked in a place years ago, like 30 years ago, and there was some guy in there that was, I don't know, he's like just a goofy kid. He did all the sandblasting, and he used to call me Captain Caveman. And I had a big old full beard then. It was kind of rough looking. And he called me Captain Caveman. I didn't even know who Captain Caveman is. I had to go find out. It was a cartoon.
Mexican Spec says he is fascinated by lighting, and that is why he hates LED bulbs.
See, I kind of like LED bulbs because they're crisp and
Yeah,
clean.
but maybe not in places where they were not intended. I can understand where they sort of ruin an aesthetic that was designed around an incandescent bulb. If you put an LED in there, it sort of changes it.
How's my Valiant look though?
It
I
looks good.
I feel like there's less chance of somebody clobbering me from the rear end,
Mm-hmm.
and the turn signals are crisp and clean, and of course the lenses are cleaned up and everything. They look good. So, but I see a lot of old cars that the bulbs hardly work and they're dim. You're dark. We got to work on that because I think they're dirty in there, so it's kind of dim looking. 68 Buick had vent windows. 69 did not. Ah, yeah, okay. Yeah, you go back to 68s
Why
and
did
look.
they do away with the vent windows on
That
all
was
the
the
cars?
thing to do. It was like cool to not have the vents, but I think it was cheaper. But I don't know. At the time, I really liked it. Like the Camaro had the vents in 68, they came out without them, and it looked so good. But after having Camaros with them and without them, I prefer the ones with them. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know
38
about
Racing
the
says
look. I like
59s
my
look like
truck
crap
with
with
them.
look like crap with the LEDs in the rear. Well, I wouldn't think so because one of the things about the 59 is I guess if you clean the lenses all up and put new, I'll tell you what else helps too. The reflectors in there, you paint them the brightest white you can, and that brightens them up a lot. But they, I don't know, maybe they do. I don't know. Gearhead, Acme Tools ad,
Looks
formerly
like he got an
Acme.
advertisement for Acme Tools.
Yeah, like it's some crazy time here.
All right.
I think it might depend on what time people come in.
You get 2 points when you call out your ads, thanks to Acme Tools. I thought Acme Tools was, isn't that the Roadrunner? Isn't that where the Coyote orders things to try and smash the Roadrunner? Where he orders a rock? Where he orders a device that makes him run faster? Acme?
What is this? Mike N., I got an ad for a Barry's Ball Gag Emporium out on Route 4. How does... So
All right, Mike.
what?
Don't he?
What?
He's being. He's being.
Silly?
Yes. Yes.
Ball Gag Emporium. Yeah. Front parking lights look better with old amber incandescent light bulbs turned on. Are you telling on yourself, Mike? I've only been in there 4 or 5 times before. 38 Racing. I have LEDs in the front and look fine. Oh, those little pinchy lights on the edges of those oval-shaped grills up on the top. Yeah, those probably look okay. Team Allen, I like vent windows and the floor dimmer switch. I don't like the floor dimmer switch so much. But I suppose, like mine has that, my guess is I'm going to have to take that apart and lube it all up or something so it doesn't feel like I got to poke it real hard and it sticks and everything. But I suppose if I get used to it again, because everything, like the whole first half of my life, everything was like that. And then I got used to the click, click, click up here, and I kind of liked it. But... Oh, it says I have some old vintage painted amber inside bulbs in my stash here. Yeah, I never liked those a whole lot. I like the ones that have the dye on the outside. But I really like the ones that are LEDs that just light up amber, but you're being cheeky, yeah.
I think we're in the weird hour. I didn't know we had arrived, but I'm thinking that we have, because it's getting weird. There's some weird stuff going, and they almost baited me into telling stories, and I'm not telling stories. No, I ain't going there. I ain't touching that. You know, the chat is still rolling pretty good, and I think we missed a little.
Yeah, we missed some.
Oh, Team Allen brings up the floor dimmer switch.
I was talking about that.
Bring that back. Mike's only been there 4 or 5 times. You
No, that's
go where
it.
you
That's that
like,
crazy.
Mike.
That's
Front
it.
parking lights look better with amber incandescent. Acme Tool, the supplier for anvils, rubber anvils everywhere. I found the floor switch very useful for my hill runs. They changed it when they gave cars passing lights. Passing lights?
What are passing lights? Maximum spec, what do you call a passing light?
Is that the same as high beams? Do it, don't be scared. No, I'm not going to. It's not my channel, not my stream. I am a guest here, and I am bound to be on good behavior. My hands are tied. I cannot talk about these things.
Oh, flash to pass?
Flash to pass.
Well, see, like in Europe, you always see that. You flash your high beams before you pass. Here, that's like, some asshole does that, But it's probably some European that they have to do that. I don't know about Mexico. Oh, yeah, you pull a lever towards you to put on high beams while you're passing. Yeah, some cars you push forward to turn them on, leave them there, and some of them you go click, 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 click. It's like the button on the floor, but you pull it towards you. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Downshifting using a foot to change lighting is good. I don't know. It's like one thing I don't really like it, but I don't know. Like this car, I'll get used to it again. It's one of the things I liked about the Pintos I had. The Pintos all had the floor switch. In 1980, they put it up on the column. So it was 1 year of Pinto that had the switch up on the column, which I liked. And it's not an easy conversion because the wiring harness is different and complicated. So it's not an easy swap. Oh, Tim says I had a couple old Chevys that had the starter switch on the floor. They were like the dimmer switch, yeah. But
I've never seen that.
It's on the right side, and it actually pushes. It's mechanical linkage that pushes the
directly
solenoid
to the starter.
to the starter solenoid. Yeah.
Nice. I did see that somewhere. I've never seen it in person. I don't think. I think I saw it on a video once, and I was like, wow.
Here in Mexico, people leave the left turn signal on while passing cars. I have asked why, and nobody knows. Geez, I can't imagine why they do that.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not going to come in yet? I don't know. Mexican Spec says, what? I never saw a column switch on a Pinto, and I've had a lot of them. No, I'm thinking of the Pinto. Have you ever had a 1980 Pinto? It was 1 year. Yeah, I wanted to convert mine, but it was just too hard, Old Chevy and GMC farm trucks here with a working Survivor with AC Delco 7-inch headlight, bulbs stock. Big bulbs. Says you can often do both when you have stock high beams. Oh, Buff, you can often flash by pulling and click to leave them on. Yeah, you don't pull all the way.
No. When you pull, it flashes, and when you push, it stays on.
But some of them aren't like that. Some of them you pull toward you, and it was like the button down there. It goes click, 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 and you can't push them forward. So they made them both ways. But what she's saying is you can pull towards you, but not to the point where it clicks.
Dr. Go says, does anybody remember the floor-mounted bubble rubber switch to smash for windshield washer fluid? His 70 Duster had that.
My Duster has it.
We found that in his Valiant.
72 Valiant has it.
I had never seen that before. We were working on it, and I saw it, and it made me laugh when I realized what it was. That's clever. I mean, it should be there. The only other thing that I saw that it was really unique was on Volkswagens. They used the spare tire,
Oh yeah, they use the air out of the
and
spare
I
tire
we
to run the.
recently saw that somewhere, and I thought you have to put the little thing on the valve on the spare tire, which is in the trunk in the front. And I thought that's clever. Except then your spare tire's flat when you really need it. Oh, Mexican Spec has a bring a trailer listing he'd like me to click on.
Oh,
Oh, boy, it brought it right up. Here,
you sure you want to leave YouTube?
I'll take care of that. Go ahead.
She's taking care of that. Millie Vanilli. Time to crash. Good night. Says crash. Says time to crash. So, well, thanks for being here. Take care. Good night.
Yes, thank you, Crash's Roadrunner Garage. All right. Boy, that Pinto looks so much like a Chevette. I never realized how close those cars were.
The last 2 years had the square front end with the, there's a different front end on them. And that's a 79 or an 80. I don't know which it is. It says 80. It says 80 right on.
Is it just me? Doesn't it look so much like a Chevette? Or an AMC Gremlin?
Oh, well, Mexican Spec says, sorry to prove you wrong, Buff. Show the picture of the steering column. Okay.
Okay, I'll find it here.
No, I think it's
got the little lever. Is that what we're proving?
Well, he says that one. Well, that one looks like he's right. It's just a turn signal lever. But I was sure that one of the 80s I drove, see, it's got the button down there. And that's an 80. It's got the shitty instruments, the square instruments. But, man.
Well,
see, but there was... I know there was one that I drove that had.
Good job, Mexican Spec.
That had the thing
stumped the expert.
Please.
I'll award you 2 points even for it, Mexican Spec. You were like, oh yeah, you think you know everything? Bang.
That's the shifter I used on my my Futura, because my Futura had a 4-speed in it, and I used that. Well, I was pretty sure I was wanting to do that to one of my Pintos because I drove a Pinto that had the clicker up on the column. But then he shows
it might have been the column out of a completely different car.
Well, it could have been a mid-year change. Well, why would they do that in the last year of the Pinto?
Oh, I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense.
They changed crazy things that don't make any sense on a lot of different kinds of cars.
Oh, see, that one, bill of sale dated December 18th of 79. So it was an early one. I don't know.
Total purchase price of $5,000. Wow, that isn't pricey Pinto. Okay.
John Bossoms, when I grew up in Long Island, you would install a switch going to your reverse lights so they would stay lit, telling others you wanted to race.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Buddy Carafano, Factor Food ad.
Thank you, Buddy Carafano. You get 2 points. Factor sells food.
Mexican Spec says it doesn't make sense for them to spend money in the last year of production. I agree.
Yeah, that would be foolish, wouldn't it? But he says you had an Escort.
I never had an Escort. I wouldn't have one of those pieces of crap. I hate those little front drive original Escorts. I like the British Escort that we never got.
He's saying it wasn't an Escort. It was a Pinto. There's a pretty big difference between those two cars. Yeah. He would know.
Yeah, so I don't know. Now I got it. Now, when we're done here, I'm going to chase it down and see if I can figure out what's going on there.
I would be stunned if there was an optional upgrade. It does seem
strange. Wouldn't be optional. It wouldn't be optional.
It does seem very strange.
Okay, Buddy Carafano now has...
Yeah, they'd have to make a new wiring harness. And that doesn't make any sense. No, it really doesn't. It doesn't. Why are we looking at Led Zeppelin?
Because Buddy Carafano sent it in. I don't know.
Oh, and it's a 1968 concert. Wow.
Ford didn't spend money to protect the gas tank. Oh, yeah, they did. Yeah, they were forced to do that. Pinto and Bobcat had the same hard dimensions of the Fox steering column and steering rack. Maybe it was a 79 or 80 Mustang.
Now you're making him
Buddy
feel
Carfano.
bad. Be nice to him, Mexican Spec.
Wouldn't,
He's just an old
I'm
man.
gonna chase
He's
it down.
just an old man. Go easy on him.
I'm gonna chase it down and find out because I was sure that was something I wanted to do. I wanted to upgrade to the 80, and I always thought about that. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. Buddy Carfano won't drive an Escort. Give me a Mercury Lynx. They're both. Man, those first Escorts were just. Man, I didn't like those cars. Biggest problem with the tanks was they had too long of bolts. There were two problems with the tank. When you get hit in the back, the sides of the car pooch out and had a little short filler neck that just slid out of that big rubber gasket. And then because you punch the gas tank and all that gas would shoot out where the rubber neck was. And the other problem is it would push the tank into the rear end, and sometimes it would puncture there. So they put a piece of plastic, I don't know, it was nylon or what it is, something there between the tank and the rear end, and they put a much longer filler neck in it. So when you hit it from the back end, that filler neck wouldn't pull out. Let's see, please show me, Buff. I would love to see a Pinto with that column. Yeah, I'm gonna look. I'm not gonna do it now.
He's gonna be up all night looking for.
I'm pretty tired.
Looking for answers.
But I'm gonna look for that because I always thought it was like that, and I thought that for some reason. So I didn't just make it up. I always thought that. So I don't know. Max Wood, I had one of those Challengers from the 80s. I put a 318, then hauled it in for scrap, no title. You mean one of the little Japanese Challengers? The one that was like a Plymouth Sapporo?
Yeah, didn't Dead Dodge Garage recently do some content about one of those Challengers?
Man, my former mother-in-law had a Sapporo with a 2600 in it. And what a nice car that was. She bought it new, and I drove it quite a bit. I drove it from Southern California to Washington and back, and it was like, man, I really liked it, but it was a new car. Same thing happened to the Vega, but no press on that one. What is that? Oh, the rear end, the gas
BNR
tank.
Racing says today's cars are 10,000 times harder to work on. The complexity and all the wires and computerized stuff and modules. Yeah. Wow.
It's just the Escort. I'm reading what Dean Stevenson wrote. The Escort, the U.S. Escort, is a crappy little front driver car. I just drove one once, and it's like, man, I just strongly dislike that car. It says I'd have a Vega rather than one of those Escorts. Oh, Vega, I love Vegas, but the original engines were kind of, oh, what's this? I'm trying to get to it. What is this? Mexican Spec sent me a picture
of a car.
Yeah, it looks like a
Mustang.
Yeah, it's one of those. Why won't it turn? Because it won't turn. Yeah, this is one of these ones that looks like a Sapporo. It's Challenger. It looks like a Sapporo. It's a
yeah. Like the one that Dodge Garages was recently working.
Yeah, I mean, I drove a Sapporo around a lot, and I liked that car. I mean, in the Escort, I don't know what it was about the European Escort. I always wanted to drive one like I don't know what they were, late 70s. But The U.S. Escort was just terrible. And then or at least I didn't like it. Oh, that's an 82 Dodge Challenger there for sale. Oh, that's why he sent me the picture. Yet the US 79 and 80 Fiesta was 100% a European Fiesta. The Fiesta, the original Ford Fiesta that we got in this country was, man, what a fun car that was. That was like a Volkswagen Rabbit, only a little smaller, and it was more, what would you call it, friskier. It drove nice. It handled good. It didn't have a lot of power, but because it was light and the shifter worked so well, it just was a fun car to drive. And I really liked those things. I mean, I just didn't like the Escort at all, the American Escort. Yes, Jamie doesn't want to buy it. Oh, you already talked to Jamie.
He doesn't want to buy it. He already has one.
It's only 60 kilometers from him. Yeah, you'd like to sell that because it'd be quicker to go get to.
Yeah, he doesn't have to drive all the way across the country.
Yeah, it doesn't have to go all the way down to Guatemala to get it.
Take a butt-long bus trip. Oh.
They did the same to the Mondeo versus the Contour. See, we didn't get the Mondeo here, but the Contour was, it's another car. I don't know, there's a whole bunch of those little front driver Fords that I was just like, as unexciting as it gets. I don't know, U.S. smog controls made everything wheezy. In Japan, they had engines for those Mitsubishi Challengers with some compression. You know what? I'm trying to think what year hers was. It must have been an 82. It's probably an 82 Plymouth Sapporo. And it was I didn't have any problem with that thing. I think hers even had an automatic in it. She had an MGB with a 4-speed, but she had so many problems with it. It was always back at the dealer. And that's when she bought that Sapporo. John Bossoms, I like the Mercury Capri. Which one? The Fox body Capri or the earlier Capri, like a 73 or 4, whatever they were? I mean, I like them both, but they're completely different cars. That's 37.3 miles for you good SAE people. Okay.
Hello, Miss One-Eyed Cat. Welcome to the stream.
Mexican Specs is Guadalajara, not Guatemala. Yeah, well, I was just picking Guatemala because it's so far away. Mexicans. Oh, boat anchor. I have a 93 Escort. It's been good to me. You know, there's people that probably like them. I just don't like that car. I don't know. It's just personal preference.
93, that's like a jelly bean car, isn't it?
I don't know. Look it up.
They're not a bad car.
Look it up. No, I just don't like them.
Wow.
I went from a Pinto, and then I drove one of those. It's like the Pinto was so nice. And I was just really disappointed because the Europeans had such a good Escort, and we got that. You know, I was like, oh, the early Capri. John Boston says the early Capri. Yeah, I had a friend that bought one of those. The first one I saw was the one he bought. And it had a...
well, that's older than I expected.
Yeah, those things. Oh, wait a minute. 93? Where's the one that was before that? Look up like a... I don't know, like an 80, 83 or something. Yeah, those things. I didn't like those things at all. But then the other one you showed, those aren't too bad, I guess. Like the 93. Tim says I had a 73 Capri. I commuted in it for 2 years out of California. Great little car. Yeah, I had a friend in California. Had an early Capri. It was like a 73. Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't like those a lot. Oh, that's a 93. Yeah, it's a different car. I guess those weren't too bad. I didn't drive those much. I probably was in one a couple of times.
They even had an RS Cogsworth version. Sporty.
Buff, go drive a 1991 Ford Escort GT with the Mazda dual overhead cam engine. Yeah, I'm sure I'll find one of those. They're on every corner. It's telling me to go find a 34-year-old car with the Mazda dual overhead cam engine. If I find one, it'll be in a field somewhere with weeds growing up through it. It says, I love the old Capris. Semi-import. Yeah, they're a German car. John Boston said the Capri was rear drive and easy to work on. Yeah, it was a lot like it had the little overhead cam. What was it, a 2000 engine up front? I don't think it was a 2300. I think it was the 2000. Tempo and Topaz. Man, my youngest son, when he was a kid, he loved those cars, and I think he just liked the way they looked. I don't know why he liked those things so much. Next spec, I had the 238th car made. I bought it in May of 1990. Mrs. One-Eyed Cat came in somewhere because Dean Stevenson's saying hi to her, and I don't know where she is. I missed it.
I said hello to her too.
Oh, you did?
So
Okay.
you're really not paying attention.
Well, I'm paying attention to other things.
Reading chat can be very
They're
distracting.
giving me such a hard time
They
about these
really
escorts.
are this time of night.
I just don't like them. I just don't like them.
Wow.
And some people like them, I guess. I don't know.
You get opinionated, and they get snapbackety.
Yeah, well, I like my Pintos, and they ended production on them, you know. And then the replacement was that, and I didn't like it.
No, he didn't like it.
Oh,
Same
look
reason
at
I
this.
love an Opel Manta. Those Capris, light, nice, nothing you don't need.
What's that? Where's this? I missed what you just read.
Oh, Olive, second one up.
Oh, same reason I love Opel Manas, those Capris, light, nice. Yeah, the Opel Mana, man, I'd love to find an Opel Mana that's good, but those are all gone. You know, it's like, I don't know where you'd ever find a good one. Anytime I find one, it's just, you know, it's ravaged. It's a complete, total project.
Right.
This is
a nice one would be way out of your price range, and people wouldn't want to sell it in the first place.
Boss, you remember the automatic transmission for this 81 Escort? It was horrible. I don't remember it. Okay, look at this. Buddy Carfano put this in, and the reason I wanted to show it was it's a GTO wagon, I think. It is a GTO wagon. That had to be a rare car.
Yeah. It's
Can you
four-door
zoom
wagon.
that a little bit? I can't zoom that because it's a link. Can you imagine that? Man, too bad they didn't make a two-door version of that wagon. I still like it. Man, it's like a Le Mans, except it's got the GTO front end on it. It's probably got a tack and probably got a good engine. Yeah, that'd be something. Mexican spec says that was 1 of 10.
No, it says 1 of 0.
Oh, 1 of 0? Oh, maybe somebody just put the front clip off a GTO on it. Well, you know, Mexican spec, there's that one that Futura. Who sent that to me? Now I gotta find it.
Buddy Carfano says, I don't think it's a real GTO. It's a custom car.
Well,
it's cool, though.
It could very well be.
It's cool. It's all right.
It could very well be a front clip from a GTO on.
It's not a real GTO wagon. It's an REO speed wagon.
It was Lester LeSabre sent me. Where is it? I want to show this because it is such a cool looking car. And I was telling you about this car, Kim. I was telling you about this car. Okay, you know what you need to do. It's a Futura or a Z7 like mine,
Oh, I see. Yes.
and it's got the nose piece off like an LTD2, and then that good hood on it. I mean, that's a sharp looking car. You know, it's enough that I'd think, man, I ought to go look for one of those front ends for my car. And
Oh
then
yeah, with the slopiness.
and
Yeah,
then
I
the
do like that better. I don't like that hood, but I like the
the
grill better.
the basket handle top, they put a stripe on it that looks good instead of the vinyl roof with the stupid pinstripes like mine. I mean, that's a sharp looking car. And when I
Yeah.
saw that, I heard he was looking for something from Mexican Spec, and I said, uh, I thought he bought it from Mexican Spec. It looks like something you'd find in Mexico. And he says, no, he was looking at a box top one down there.
Okay, I gotta take a break.
You got to take a break?
I do. I'll try and make
Oh,
it
it's an
quick.
LTD front end, not an
Oh, I've been sitting here a
LTD2.
long
Yeah, an
time.
LTD2 is something else. It's an LTD. Yeah, they changed the name. Ford played all their stupid name games. They had LTDs, LTD2s, and then the LTD became a Fox body, and the LTD prior had been a giant, big Roadhog car. So it was like, man, they always playing all those name games. Let's see here. Yeah, Mustang wheels. That is a sharp looking car. Makes me want to do it. I think that's one of the best looking Futuras or Z7s I've seen. See, Z7 sounds so bad. I decided to adopt the normal English from the rest of the world and call it a Z7 because that sounds better. So it's a Z7. Yeah, the angled front goes with the rear. It does. That just looks normal, and it's not. Yeah, sunglasses for your headlights. Very 80s car mag. Yeah, I think it looks good, but I don't really like them because you got to get out and take them off, or you really want your headlights available. In fact, I run my headlights during the daytime. So, yeah, I don't know. I suppose you parked in a car show, you stick those things on there, but I would never run with them. The 1983 reshuffle. Grand Marquis, then the Fox Marquis, the Panther Crown Victoria, then the Fox LTD. Dean Stevenson, Z, Buff Z. Are you American? Oh, American. Yeah, I just decided Z sounds better, Z7. Because Z7 just sounds like, what a crappy name for a car. It's like they alphabet soup. They just pick some stupid numbers. And it's like Lincoln. There were a lot of cars did this crap. Or Pontiac. Pontiac had the Grand Am. They had the Grand Prix. They had the, what was the big one? The Pontiac Bonneville. And all of a sudden they had like the G5, G6, G8. Well, the first year of the G6, I went and looked at one because I was driving a Grand Am and there was a Pontiac dealer next to where I was working. I walked over there and the guy kept saying, this is a Grand Am. It's a Grand Am. He just kept calling it a Grand Am. He called me on the phone, wanted to know if I wanted to come down and buy it. And he kept calling it a Grand Am and it was a G6 because he was interested in selling cars. He didn't like the name change because nobody knew what the hell it was. And and then Ford did the same thing with the Lincolns. They had Lincoln Marks and Lincoln Continentals and all these different things. And then and all of a sudden they had all these crazy letters. And they started that, in 07? Because 06, they still called the intermediate sized Lincoln, or small Lincoln, they called it the Zephyr. Like my Mercury. But then the next year they call it a MKZ and the MKX and the MK, all that stuff. They shot themselves in a foot as far as I was concerned. Bonneville, Catalina. Yeah, it was Bonneville and Catalina, all those. Buff was Canadian suddenly. Zed. Well, when I worked with a British crew for quite a while, and they all said Z. Cougar XR7. We have a Pontiac G3 at work at loaner car. B&R Racing says that. We had a G2 here, a car made in India. Oh, wonderful. A G2. I didn't even know about that. I don't know what Dean Stevenson's saying there. So what's wrong with Z? Was it? Oh yeah, Mexican Sex says it's just Velcro. I agree with this. Nobody said Z, Buff. I don't know. Every British guy I ever worked with said Z. Because we were working on an airplane, and it was also called a Zephyr, if you can believe that. You ought to look that up. It's a Zephyr UAV that now Airbus owns it, but it was a Z5, Z6, Z7, and that's what they called it, Z. You know, I got used to that. Where did I just hear this stuff with Z just recently? Oh yeah, there you go. That's the airplane I worked on. It's a solar powered airplane. Oh, here we got ads. Nothing, Buff. You do you. He is speaking riddles. You have to renounce your U.S. citizenship. Where are you going to go? Because I said Z. Oh, I don't know what that big old thing is under it. Geez, there we are out there in Arizona launching the thing. Man, that thing actually holds a record for the longest flight of any aircraft unrefueled. It was up for a month. A bars leak ad. Are you kidding me?
Bars leak is good stuff if you have the right.
No, it's just I didn't expect that. That's the NASA one. That thing broke. The NASA one that's got that big curved wing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it snapped in them. What happened with that was it started to swing like this. You can imagine that thing starts swinging like this, and as it swing through the bottom, it'd pull G's. It'd start getting heavier in the bottom, and finally it broke in the middle, all went in the Pacific Ocean out in the north, just north of Hawaii.
Oops.
All went in a drink. That one is span loaded. That's the Zephyr that I flew right there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was up to 70,000 feet, and it's solar powered. It climbs in the daytime, and it descends a little bit. You try to keep it up as high as you can, but at night you're running heaters on the batteries and the electronics, and you're using battery power. In the daytime, it charges batteries and it climbs, but it'll stay up for. The reason we had to land is because we were out of range time. They got to pay for that range time. Yeah, see, they call it a Zephyr 7, which the Brits called a Z7.
All right, so Buddy Carfano had a bars leak ad. He gets 2 points. Bars leak is for when you have water leaking out, not pressure.
And you don't want it to leak out.
Yeah, that could help. Team Allen had a Granger ad. Granger is good for like commercial heating and air conditioning and motors and
just
stuff
use
like
your fingers, buddy.
Check out Granger near you. Thank you to You get 2 points for calling out that ad, and thank you to Granger and to Bars Leak for sponsoring the stream. Okay.
Yeah, look at this. Dan at DD Speed Shop and Scott at CWM. What's CWM? Say Z. Yeah, every English-speaking country, I think, says Z except the U.S.
He just says it because he thinks it sounds cool.
I think it sounds better than... I don't like the name Z7. I just don't like it. So now I got one. I always want to call it a Fairmont Futura because people might know what that is. And my last one's a Futura.
But he's not from Redneck, Tennessee. This is just where the housing is affordable. Doug is missing all the ads. No toaster for him. You know, not everybody can earn a toaster. Takes dedication.
Mo points. I assume that's a typo. It does not sound better. Mexican Spec doesn't like this.
Mexican Spec is giving you such a hard time about
Give me a
everything
real
tonight.
hard time tonight.
Mexican Spec, what's going on? Have we offended you?
We don't say that in California either, Kim.
He didn't say you said it in California.
I didn't say it in California.
He said that he picked it up working around people with this airplane.
Well,
this Zephyr airplane.
And they called it the Z7, which is kind of funny because, it
See?
says Airbus Zephyr 7. Because, it was sold, the whole project was sold to Airbus. And it used to belong to a company called Kinetic in England. And I worked with the guys from Kinetic. And anyway, they all called it Z6 and Z7. Stephen, I thought I'd say it again. Racing, the Zephyr is cool, Buff. Park to a modern mini SUV and photograph. What? Excellent. He said he's not from Tennessee, but he's from California. Yeah, I lived in California until 1991. Well, actually, I lived all over the place then, too. But I moved out of California in 1991.
Revoke his wrench. He's too critical.
You what? He's gonna censor me now. He's got a wrench. He's gonna censor me. Cross everything. Buddy Carpano Z. He's just trying it on, Max. He'll go back to Z soon enough. Z's to the 7th power. Technically, it's a Zephyr Z7 is the model it is. So what if it's in Canada? I bet they don't call it a Z. I bet you they call it a Tommy Hanlon. So it's pronounced ZZ Top? No, it's ZZ Top. Red Hornet. Who's Red Hornet? Hey. New here tonight. How you doing? First cars you and Kim had. 73 Cutlass S here. First car I had
Welcome to the stream, Red Hornet.
First car I had was a 1964 Ford Galaxy. Her first car was,
I believe it was a 1983 Volkswagen Rabbit. It was a brown four-door with a gasoline fuel-injected engine. My brother gave it to me. It was before I was even, I think I was 15. I wasn't supposed to be driving it, but I did.
Red Hornet says no Z7. See, I'm doing it again. No Z7 in Canada. Okay, before it gets any later, we did 1968. So next week, what year do we want to cover?
Oh, we don't have another year on the paper?
We don't have another year on the paper.
We don't?
We do not. We end at 1968.
Oh, well, heck. That means we get to go home. What year are we going home to?
I need a pencil. Because you know who's going to come up here. I'm surprised he hasn't yet. Buddy Carfano go type in a
I
year.
can't believe Buddy usually tells us way ahead of time.
So somebody beat Buddy to he did it already. Okay. So BNR says 87. Mexican Spec says 73. Red Hornet 79. Loved it. 64. 87. 73. Let's go way back. 40s or 50s.
Well, do them.
You know what I always
just
said?
Put them on the list.
What I always
in
said.
the order that people said them. 64, 87, 73.
Okay, we'll do that again.
Yeah.
Okay. So going 64.
Yep. 87.
And then we're going 87.
73.
73. Didn't we already do 73? No, we didn't.
And
then I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to go back that because I've said 50. Well, we could do 50s. And then BNR says 81.
Well, BNR said 87 too. BNR, you have to make your choice.
Okay.
87 or 81.
I already wrote down 87. So then.
Max Wedge says 66. Didn't we just do 60? We just did 66 a while ago, didn't we?
Did we do 66? I don't think we did. Okay, so 64, 87, 73, and then go way back 40s or 50s. 50s would be okay. Did we do 57, 58, 59? Oh, I know we did 59 one time. 50.
BNR says 87, so we have that
Well,
written down.
somebody wants to go back to 40s or 50s. I don't want to
That
go
was
back to
Mike
40s. I don't want to go back to 40s, but sometime in the 50s. Let's go 56.
Okay.
There's a lot of good cars in 56.
All right,
then,
so we have the next.
And then the next one is
Oh, that's enough.
66, right?
Okay.
So that covers 1, 2, 3, 4. That's five weeks.
We did do 66, but we could do it again.
Oh, we
honestly.
did do 66?
We did, but it's been a while, and it's at the end of the list, so it'll be at least 8 weeks separated.
So next week we're doing 64.
By then, I'll be back to work on my 66.
Packards, Nashes, Hudsons, Studebakers. Oh yeah, all those cars were alive in 56.
1987 horsepower was coming back. Yeah, they had the IROC. 1987.
Well, 1987 was my Corvette, and yeah, it was starting to come up.
Yeah, people wanted
Stevenson.
that.
Metropolitan. Did they have Metropolitans in New Zealand? The little Nash-looking things, 2-seat car. It was a British car underneath, but on top it looked like a Nash. I don't know if they had those in New Zealand. I don't know all those cars. I don't know all what was there.
Well, you gotta learn. We're not gonna just do the same thing as we did last time either.
62, the Metropolitan died. Yeah, I think it was about then here. I don't know when it was. You know what's really strange is some of the Metropolitans, most of them said Rambler on them. Or Nash. And then there were a few of them said Hudson. Not many. They said Hudson on them. Which I thought was kind of cool. Red Hornet. My son drives a 64 Chevelle Malibu SS and an 86 Camaro Z28. Both mint. The SS is Restomod. He built the Restomod.
That's amazing.
My sister, who's 2 years younger than me, when she was in high school, her first car was a 64 Chevelle. The 283, and it had bucket seats, had a power glide, shift around the floor. Kind of a green metallic color. Kind of faded looking. But that was a 64, and she got that in 1972. Probably 1973. So it was a 9-year-old car when she got it.
Red Hornet, if you're new here, we talk a lot about, we stream every Tuesday night. We start at 7 Central Time. And we have a lot of friends here that we all kind of know each other through our car communities. And what we like to talk about, we talk about YouTube, and we talk about cars and automotive adjacent stuff, maybe a little drag racing stuff. We talk about lots of stuff. And we have this green screen when sometimes we're out in the shop working on cars, and we don't do the green screen when we're in the shop. And usually we start those streams closer to like 10 p.m. Central.
9 or 10 o'clock.
9 or 10. So sometimes we're around then, but we're always here on Tuesday nights doing this.
Oh, and the shop lives are so much different than here. Here we show all these pictures and everything. And in the shop, we have dual camera set up usually, and I'll be sitting there taking care of the chat, and Kim will be working or something, or one of us will be working with a camera on us, and the other one will be taking care of the chat.
Okay.
So it's just something different.
I've been here, I just stay quiet. Usually I enjoy it.
Oh, okay.
Well, thanks for speaking up.
Okay.
We appreciate it and welcome. And Red Hornet says he put a Holley Sniper on the SS, and it was a game changer. Fuel injection, it does change things, because pressurized fuel being dispersed is a completely different atomization kind of thing. So if you can get it to work, if you get a good system and it's working for you, they can be really great. I'm glad to hear that it was working out for you.
Mike N says Nash Kelvinator. That was actually the name of the company. Well, I bought a new Matador, AMC Matador in 1974, and, it wasn't a car that either liked it or you hated it. Well, a lot of my friends hated it, so they called it my Kelvinator. So I always had a Kelvinator. 'Cause that's what they called it. Yes, my ambulance officer neighbor had one. Oh man, I gotta get a hold of someone in New Zealand. What time is it down there right now, Dean? I gotta call New Zealand.
Do you really?
I got a
That airplane thing?
I got a bill for a helicopter ride, an emergency transport in a helicopter. They're billing me for it. Well, I've never been to New Zealand. I doubt if they flew their helicopter up here and took me anywhere.
Goodness.
So, we got to get that straightened out.
That sounds like fraud.
Well, except I looked it up online, and it is a company there, and it looks like it came from their email address, but I'm not going to respond to the email. I'm going to call them on the phone number that's on their website and go, hey,
Oh,
did you
goodness.
really send me this?
Yikes.
So, Dean Stevens, have you seen a Metropolitan bridge? Nash Bridges. Mac, let's see, Dick Dashley sent a picture. Let's see what that is.
Oh, he said he had a 56 with a
Oh, identity theft.
400 in it.
Well, I'm going to.
Well, you don't get too far with identity theft in
Well,
New
that's why-
Zealand against an American.
That's why I'm going to call them on their phone number they have listed online for their website. I'm not going to respond to the email because I don't trust it. Okay, what is this? This is from Dick
Let me
Dashley.
check after I get done ragging on Bob. Come on, Mexican Spec. He's been busy working. He's tired. The puppy dog.
What the heck is this?
The puppy dog's watching us. on
Oh, I
screen.
get it now. The dog's watching us. Hey, that's pretty good, except the look on my face looks like I'm goofball.
The puppy's giving me kisses. Hey, puppy.
Oh, Dean says it's
Hi, little
1727.
puppy.
Well, it's too late. I can't call him. Do you have free long distance, Buff?
He does.
I did. I got rid of it. Remember? I got rid of the international. I don't want to just ignore a bill. I want to go, hey.
Yeah, you got to dispute it.
I mean, if it's fraud, okay, they didn't bill me. If they did bill me, they need to figure out who they really. Yeah, it's a bill for a medical airlift. So it's like, why am I getting that?
I've never been in a helicopter with that woman, says Dean. Yes. Yes.
I've been in helicopters, but never a medical one.
Is it a bill for a medical airlift? Yeah, that's what they
Call and say what the heck, yeah.
Yeah.
So
right.
here we are.
Just
being-
what you want to do is
being
call New
watched.
Zealand and dispute
Oh.
a bill for.
Ozone! Good evening. This is One-Eyed Cat. My first car was a 75 Ford Granada. Yeah,
Oh, that's a good car.
I remember those. I
That's
remember when they
solid-
came out with the
solid
Granadas.
car.
I was in the Air Force then, and it was billed as a car that was supposed to be a competition for a Mercedes-Benz. And so one of the guys I work with bought a new Monarch, which was basically the same thing. And so he thought it was like a Mercedes.
Boy, it looks a
But
lot like your Z7.
But it's
It looks a lot
It's-
like your car.
but it's got the suspension like the early Mustangs where the
Oh, I see. Yeah.
springs are on the top and the towers and all that. But they were actually a pretty nice car. But I don't think it was up to the quality of a Mercedes. But I don't know. Actually, I'd rather have that. It was in good condition because the Mercedes is so difficult to fix, and that's really simple car, Yeah, it sounds like a scam. My first car was a 66 four-door gold Dart. Hey, Kim,
Yeah.
Blue Grit Garage. My first car was a 66 four-door gold Dart.
I got one.
She's got one.
Runs good. Automatic. 4 doors.
Well, and then Dean Stevens says identity theft for sure. Okay, so did somebody get transported in a helicopter? And they used some ID? They convinced them it was me? I don't know. Max with Dick's Dash. My first car was a 67 Camaro convertible.
I drug it out of the woods and got it running. Nice.
Wow.
Dragging a 67 Camaro out of the woods now, you probably just still need the bottom half of it after you're done dragging, because there's not too many of them left sitting in the woods.
So, trying to think of the name of the company. You're going to handle the chat for a minute.
I'm going to channel that.
I'm going to go.
Okay.
Look at another email account that I don't have on this computer.
Okay.
And I'll be right back.
All right.
I just got to get up without falling down. I've been sitting there for a while.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for being here. We really, really enjoy doing the Tuesday night stream. We look forward to it. But it can be a lot of work. And sometimes life, like I thought I had a doctor's appointment tomorrow, and it turned out it was today. And then I had to get blood. I had to drive across town. We got the van unstuck today with the Bronco too. I put it in 4-low and locked in the front hubs, and it just pulled that van right out of the mud. Just right out of the mud. He didn't even have to hit the gas. It just yanked him right out of the mud and pulled him up the hill. So that was good, but it was a lot of work because I had to. It turns into a big task every time you try and do anything around here. Yeah, and we haven't been sleeping very good, and he's been working mornings. We've just been busy, so if we seem a little off on our energy this week, I do apologize, but it's not for lack of trying. Sometimes life just gets you. Lester says, the other night Tony said he liked Granadas and everyone gave him a hard time about it. Miss Wide-Eyed Cat says, I almost got scanned for my internet. I stopped down there today and showed the email I got, and they said it's a scam. Yeah, you have to stay after that stuff, and you got to be careful on what you click on. Mexican Sex says the Granada, I believe, was not a well-made car. We had a Monarch in the family. It didn't last all that long. Dean Stevenson asked, did it make a sucking noise on the way out? I don't remember what we're talking about there.
Okay, the name of the company is, I don't know how to pronounce it, Brinart or Brinart, Brinart, and it's EMS. They do, and you go to the website and it shows helicopter and everything. So you ever heard of them?
Blue Grit Garage says, I wrapped the dart around a tree. My second car was a black 71 Plymouth Scamp 318 auto with buckets and a floor shift. After that, all Fords and Mercuries. Well, you start at the best and then just go down to Ford. But my dart has been pretty smashed on the one side. Maybe it is your dart. And I haven't been to my doctor's appointment in 6 months. I should call them. Yeah, get on that. Take care of yourself. Health is important. Talk to your doctor. Ask your doctor if Stellantis is right for you. There are no guardrails or consumer protection we can expect to function now in the U.S.
Oh.
Check everything. Well, potentially there could be issues. I don't know.
Tim says, I got a text message I owed for a toll for going to the commuter lane in Denver. Here's the deal. Right now, there's a whole fraud thing coming out of China, and it's tolls. And they're trying to get people to pay tolls that never existed. So you got one of those. Remember, I was just telling you about that.
Don't click on suspicious links that don't make sense. Man, it's tough because they know, they work on those scams. They come up with new scams all the time, and once one works, then they propagate it. Now they try it on everybody. Once they get away with it one time. So don't be the sucker. But it ain't easy.
Lester LeSabre says, Granada, final version of the original Falcon. Yep, it was very, very similar suspension. It was better, but not much. It was same basic layout as the Falcon. So that was from 1960 year model through, well, they came out with the Granada in 75. I don't remember how many years it ran. And then there was another Granada that was a Fox body later. So the original, the first generation Granada and Monarchs were the, not Brainards, no. What did I just say? I already forgot. Here we got commercials again.
Max says my blood pressure is down because my sister hasn't been around. Yeah, there's some people that make it. They. There's some people that don't mix, and it's not because you don't care. It's not because you don't, family is, but that doesn't mean that they are always the person you want to be around all the time.
Let's see if I can access this here.
Oh, please, not now.
Okay. Because now I can't remember.
Why not? Oh,
Brent. It's BRINANTS. So maybe it's maybe it is fraudulent. No, because I looked it up by that name. Maybe I looked up the wrong thing. I don't know. Because I know the end looked like ants. ANTS. Brenards. Oh, so maybe it is just some fraudulent crap.
probably. There's a lot of that going around. They're always, hey,
Somebody trying to scam you out of your money.
There are truckloads of full-time scammers, people, dishonest people overseas that couldn't care less. To them, we are not even real people. We are just money waiting to be had. Treasure in a, in a foreign temple. Remember Indiana Jones and the Temple of Zoom, right? He like goes to some foreign country, walks into somebody's temple, and he's like, "Oh, I'm going to steal this golden idol." Like, hello, that's somebody's golden idol. You're just stealing it. They see us as the golden idols. They're just going to come over here and snatch us away, snatch our money, snatch our identity, take all our wealth. They feel no sense of any kind of moral. They're not immoral. They're doing it because. And
Johnny C says Subaru Wix commercial.
Oh, Johnny C. Thank you for calling out our advertiser. Thank you to Subaru. And thank you to Wix. Yeah, Wix Filters or Wix the website people? Johnny C, Wix. You get 2 points for calling that out?
Probably Wix, though. Well, I don't know. He's a car guy. It could be either one.
Buddy says the real company would mail a bill to your house.
I think you're right.
B&R Racing says they have been defunded. Who was defunded?
Who said that? Real company would mail.
B&R Racing says they have been defunded. She said, click the email twice. Who sends it twice, and you can see who it was sent from. Oh, yeah, right. You can trace route it and see where it came from. And if it's not from a U.S.-based company, then you absolutely know. Don't even click on
the way to do that is not click it there, is to go into the where you can put a string of DOS commands and what did you call it? I used to do that all the time.
Trace route.
Trace route. Yeah, it's TR. What is it?
The email will give you the short address that it came from, but if you click on that, it will show you the long address. And if it's coming from some foreign like if you get an advertisement from your bank, it is going to be at yourbank.com. And if you click on that trace, it'll come from your bank, not from some lengthy BS thing. And, I don't know. That's like a whole lengthy security briefing that I'm not doing.
Blue Grit. I got a Monarch for free. I was with my dad when he traded it in. After the deal, I told the dealer I would take the car off his hands, and he gave it to me. Oh, man. Yeah, trace route. I forgot about doing that. I used to do that a lot because we'd have failures and you trace route. You'd see like this and it'd go down and you'd see where the stoppage was.
Metadata. Yeah, look at the metadata.
You'd see it'd go from like point to point to point to point, and all of a sudden it just timed out, and you knew that's where the power failure was.
A
Yeah,
steel
wait for a
golden
second.
idol, especially when you measure its relative density. Yeah, you got to measure its relative. The way that you measure the relative density of the golden idol, Dean, is you go, and then you take a little bag and you put some sand in it, and if it's not right, you change it, and then there's obviously a stone trap mechanism that knows if you do the switchy switch. The
Click
switchy
twice.
switch.
There's
Switchy.
no place like home. There's no place like home.
Yeah, click your heels and run from the rolling big rock.
Buff, trace the email for your helicopter ride.
Yeah,
Yeah, I may just ignore it. I mean, what are they going to do?
trace the email. Do that thing where you click on it.
I do it. Well, if I do it, I'll do a trace route through the. Oh, what do you call
I mean, we know
it?
it's
Where you bring up,
BS because you weren't
where
on a
you bring up,
helicopter.
where
And
you.
what are they going to do if you don't pay it?
No, I'm thinking they billed the wrong person, but yeah, I don't know.
What?
I don't want to click on that
They're going to
email.
ruin your credit? Like,
No, I don't want to. I don't want. You know, maybe they need to bill the right person. I don't know. Maybe I just leave it alone.
if not financially challenged, I'd be at the drag strip all the time. You know what's funny? If I had the money, I don't think I would want to be at the drag strip all the time. Like if I had a bunch of money for racing, I don't think I would want to do it. I think if somebody wanted to sponsor us to do a ton of racing, I don't think that's really what I would want to do with my
I'd
time.
be in Harbor Freight going, give me two of everything.
Yeah, but you wouldn't want to have to go racing all the time. Wouldn't that be a terrible distraction to have to go racing every weekend?
It's like when I was flying, I like to fly all the time, but I got sick of it. Yeah, you don't want to do that all the time.
I like working on stuff. I like planning
She does
projects and
like she
thinking
does like
about
working on stuff.
making modifications. Like if I had all the money, I'd like to build cars, but I'd rather somebody else do the racing. I really am not into it. Everybody has their thing though, you know? And that's good because if everybody wants to be the race person, then nobody wants to do any of the work. I like doing some of the building, the designing, the modifying, the fixing. I
Gene
enjoy that.
Stevenson.
Hit it with a
Should I
hammer.
drag race or feed the kids? Wait, I'm still thinking.
Hold on. I'm still considering weighing my option. Drag racing is life. I like the kind of racing where you turn, ride. I would like to.
I bet she likes the kind of racing where you turn two different directions.
Yeah, we
Not
don't
like
just turn,
not like
just turn left.
sprint cars. I love sprint cars. But
Distraction racing.
but yeah, I like road racing too.
So, Buff, where were you in 1968? Asks John Boss.
I was in San Luis Obispo, California. I was in 8th grade. I had a paper route, and I worked at a bicycle shop. And in my dad's garage, I painted bicycles that I wasn't supposed to be doing. But as long as I didn't get paint on anything, he wouldn't do too much. When I painted a car in there when he told me not to, with thick, sticky old gooey enamel, and it got all over the. Yeah, then he got mad. Told me, don't paint that in there. And then they were gone. My parents were gone for a weekend. I had a 56 Ford that was all in primer. And they came home, it was light blue and white. And it was light blue paint, sticky all over everything. He was not happy.
Mexican Spec says, so you are like Tony Kim. He would rather be under the hood. I think probably that's where I'll be mostly for the rest of my career in the automotive. But like Olive is saying, if I had to a rally stage, that sounds like a lot of fun. That's on my bucket list, right? Like climb Pikes Peak. That sounds neat. That sounds really neat. Or like the Tail of the Dragon. Like they do that thing where they like close it off and then they do like events where you try and do the Tail of the Dragon, or even just a really fun cruise where you go out with a bunch of people and go through that. And like, well, one of the things I want to do with the Dart, I really don't want to build a Dart into a drag car. I'd rather make it into a like a improved drivability. I want to put a sway bar on it, maybe front and rear, and we built that independent suspension for the rear. I'd like to put that in. I think that would be cool because that's not really something that exists in cars from the 60s. Dodges from the 60s don't have independent rear
Four-wheel
suspensions.
independent suspension.
Yeah, so like there's some things I would like to do with that car and with a turbo so it could get out of the hole and then do the turns and stuff. I think that would be cool. 'Cause I think there are some people who have well proven that they can go really fast in a straight line. And there's whole teams of people that prove they can go fast making left turns. And I'm never going to compete with them financially or performance wise, and they don't even let you anymore. That's not even real anymore. They're all driving the same car with the same motor. It's just
Did I pay tax on tips? Oh, here? Everything that comes from Google AdSense, they give you in the US, you get a form called a 1099. And when you do your taxes every year, you have to show that. And yeah, you have to pay taxes on it.
I don't know if it's could we write that off as tips, because those tips are supposed to be non-taxable now.
What?
I don't think it counts as a tip, even if
Well, I think
even
anything you get from AdSense, you're going to get a
yeah
1099 on it. But the amount we're making is not enough
yeah
to
we
get
haven't made
taxed.
enough money.
They're not going to tax me on that. But I mean, but it'll have to be in my tax return.
All it
Okay.
says, I more or less have a formula for a body handling, Kim. All right, we'll have to discuss that, but
Okay.
another time.
Okay. Buddy Carfano sent this in. It's one of your favorite cars.
This one?
The one on the screen.
This one?
Yeah, look at the roof.
Oh, is this the bubble top one?
It's a Vista Cruiser.
Nice.
68 Oldsmobile Vista Cruiser.
Okay. If I was going to have a wagon, yeah, I think this is very much in the running for my favorite wagon of all time.
Blue Grit, the Silver State Challenge. Yeah, the thing with the Silver State Challenge is you can't just go out there and run as fast as you want. There's some stages you got to go through to get. They won't just license you for that right off. I think when I was going to do that, and I couldn't afford to do it, was the first year you were limited to 90 miles an hour, and then after that, it went up over a couple of years until you had, of course, then you had to have a car that was past their, what do you call it? Their tech. And then, man, there was a guy who had a C4 Corvette out there, and he blew a left front tire, and it tore up the tire came off so fast. He was going like 210 miles an hour or something. It tore up the wheel well and ripped a wiring harness all the way out and ripped the fiberglass out from next to him all the way out and took a piece of the rear quarter panel out.
Ooh.
From the tires shredding at that speed. Silver State Challenge. You know who did run in that and did well with it was who's the guy that does all the dyno stuff that's in Vacaville, California? Richard Holdner.
Okay.
Richard Holdner was a Silver State guy.
Dean Stevenson did finish control and start control for the New Zealand WRC. What's WRC stand
I don't know.
world record?
This is One-Eyed Cat. I got high blood pressure. 178 over 106. Oh, no.
I don't know why. I went to the doctor's last Friday for a CAT scan. Well, I hope it comes back with some results and they can figure out how to get you.
Did they give you some
right.
meds to
We
get it
want you to
down
be
right
healthy.
now?
Yeah.
Man, I freak
I'm
out
glad
when
that
mine gets
you
that
are
high.
at the doctor's and are taking it seriously, because that's high. Be well. We don't want you to be sick, huh? Thanks for stopping in and letting us know what's going on.
I ran
Is
out.
your husband giving you trouble? Because that'll give you high blood pressure.
I ran out of meds, or I was running out
Just
of
when in
meds.
doubt, blame him.
was running out of
Sorry.
meds up in Maryland, and I knew I couldn't get at it real quick.
I got one more chocolate. I'm gonna enjoy it. Last week he gave me chocolates. Valentine's Day. I'm gonna do ASMR. Chocolates are yummy.
Are you talking into this microphone?
No, talking into that. Okay, I'm done.
Anyway, I was running out of meds, so I started rationing the meds and taking less than what I normally took.
Ooh.
Oh man, you know what? Right away, my blood pressure was like 220 over 110.
Ooh.
And I was like,
Oh, real bad.
oh, I got to go to the doctor. And I just picked some, one of these emergency care centers. The guy there wanted me, put me in an ambulance and take me to the emergency room, and I refused. I said, no, I know what the problem is. Can you just write a prescription? Told him what I took and said, I know what to do. And he just stared at me. And I said, I know. You're a doctor. You're a professional. I know you think I should do this. It's right at the beginning of the pandemic. And I didn't want to go to the hospital where all those people were. So there was a pharmacy right up the street. So he decided to do it. But then they went in the office and he came out with a form. And he says, read this. He goes, you got to come up here and sign it. And they notarized it. And it said I was responsible for my own death on this. But I signed it. And he wrote the prescription. And I went up there. And by the time I got home, I went there first. And by the time I got home, it was down to like 160 over 90 or something. And then later in the evening, it was 130, like 130 something over 80. And I was like, okay. I took care of it, but I never rationed my meds again. That smells like chocolate. How can chocolates last a week? I think she was eating them and she left the box here and forgot about it till tonight.
I didn't forget.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I can't forget about chocolates, but I was rationing myself.
Dean Stevenson, the Pantera Graveyard, Silver State.
Huh.
I don't know what Richard Holden was running. I don't remember because he talked about it quite a bit. Next is that there's a pharmacy 1 block from the house, so I always have the pills. My doctor wanted me to go to the hospital too. Sweetie Buff. Well, Kim.
Yeah.
We've been on here nearly 4 hours.
I was going to be done in 2. I was like, tonight, we're both tired. We had long days.
So it's almost 11 o'clock at night, and I've been up since, well, I started working at 3:30 in the morning, but I was awake before that.
And I know he didn't sleep this afternoon, even though he was trying to, because I heard him changing.
Yeah, I couldn't sleep.
I heard him making noise. He was awake.
So, yeah. There's a couple of cars I didn't get to. Oh, here's one of my, I'll pull up a couple of them.
Chocolate Girl Scout cookies are so good.
What a
Those go fast. Making those last for a week is impressive because it's a little box and they're very decadent. You really have to. Oh, what are we looking at? Another car?
I bought a car final sent. I missed this one. It was it's a 68 Nova, which is one of my favorites. So
Man, those are so desirable to be race cars. Everybody wants to make those.
When I was looking for the Fox body,
cars.
I was looking at these as well. And these, all of them I could find that I could afford were really ratty. I mean, just...
It's still expensive.
Garbage.
Still expensive.
And the ones that were any good were like 40 grand. It's like, are you kidding me? So, Fox body's good. I like it, so...
Yeah, the Fox Buddy.
Okay.
Really nice.
So we're about ready to say goodnight.
Yeah, and I feel like there's a bunch of things I'm supposed to say at the end of the stream that I'm not sure of. Mexican Spec, thank you for being here as moderator. We really do appreciate you, even though you were very difficult tonight. You were a little bit frisky with the snapbacks against Mr. Del Campo. He's our treasure. We have to take good care of him. So,
Oh, and then Custom Classics just came in. When
Everyone
we're
who,
just leaving.
sorry, you'll have to watch the replay because we're going to be done here. I'm awarding some points. Everybody who's still here gets 2 points, especially if you're not able to comment because you were on like a Roku TV or something like that. So,
Okay, they're all leaving.
you are late. I know, we're running everybody out of here. Guys, have a great night, the rest of the night, on to wherever you go. Wish them well in our place. Say hello from Buff and Kim when you go other places. Thank you for coming in. I will have check out my channel, Kim Fixes Things. I will have videos out in the next few days because we recorded today finally. Miss On-Eyed Cat, get well. Let us know how things are going. Next week we're doing 1964. Have some pictures.
64.
Send them to
1964.
buffdocampo@gmail.com. Oh, we get 5 points for doing a 4-hour live again.
Thank you.
You guys are great. I'm sorry if I missed anybody's comments. We really appreciate everybody who was here and participated, sent in emails, chatted, or just hung out with us. And we will do it again next week. We'll be in the shop. Will we be in the shop later
I
this
don't know.
week?
It's just going to be impromptu. It's really cold, so I don't know.
Maybe one night. I'll get the heat going. So.
Okay.
Good night, all.
Good night, everybody.